What's good, world? I am one of your hosts, King Phenom, here with my host, King Sirius Lee. We always got Blankman in the house. And today we have with us Miss Brown. What? For all you people on nutsandboltsports.com trying to figure out, why is Miss Brown on here? We don't even know who Miss Brown is. Well, Miss Brown is a co-host on me and Sirius' other show, KBK Present. And today we are giving you a special mashup episode. That's right. We are giving you 2 for 1. You're welcome. You're blessed. You're lucky.
You didn't ask for this, so we're just giving it to you. So don't worry.
It's not like, look, it may not be what you wanted, but it's definitely what you need in your life.
That sounds very rapey.
Yeah, maybe let's take that part out. Edit that.
That sounds a little rapey.
Look, no, I said it, so we're keeping it.
Just shut up and take it.
Okay.
That sounds worse.
All right, me too. All right,
That's
me
gonna
too.
get you. I'm calling 911.
Yeah, that's a me too right there. Me too.
That one I don't even approve of.
That's for me too. Somebody needs a hug. That's all I'm saying.
I was coming more so from like a movie standpoint, just like this isn't the hero that you want, but it's the hero you need and shit.
He takes it to the darker place all the time.
Really? But anyway, so yeah, we're going to have different topics than just our normal blerdy topics. We are going to be mixing it up a little bit. Brown is going to give us some of her insight on the nerdy blerdy stuff. Blankman will give you guys some I guess some social commentary, because that's pretty much what we do.
A little bit of everything. A little bit of everything.
Like a little bit of nerdy, a little bit of social commentary.
A paella of sorts.
I was gonna say like a 7-layer bean dip or something.
Bean dip.
Got it all there.
And insert food reference here. I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of a thing.
I said paella. She said bean dip. So I mean, jambalaya. There you go.
All right.
Gumbo.
I was watching the rundown yesterday when The Rock gave those dudes the fruit that made them paralyzed, if that means anything.
What?
You've never seen
You never seen the rundown?
Oh God, here we go.
With The Rock? You never seen the rundown with The Rock?
No.
With The Rock and Sean William Scott and
He was being The Rock basically.
No.
and
Like every movie.
Rosario
Like
Dawson.
himself.
Where does
Being
that
himself.
rank up in his movies?
That's pretty high for me actually, because you know what? I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Even the critics, that movie is like somewhere between like a 60 to 70 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Baywatch is pretty damn funny.
I didn't see it, baby.
I just watched the other
Baywatch
day.
You're the
was
only
funny.
person
That
I've
was
heard
pretty
say
funny.
it's
It was pretty funny.
No,
It was
somebody
pretty
else
funny.
told me
It was
Baywatch
corny.
really funny.
It was
But it
It
was
was
corny
corny.
funny.
It was corny funny though.
Yeah,
I heard it was a good
I seen
throwback.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I'm gonna go pay money to see this. No, I would have been disappointed if I went to movie theater and saw that.
Yeah,
But
I
on
definitely saw
Netflix
it
or
on
like
the
download it, that's pretty funny.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of those movies where it's like, I'm not mad that I saw it, but I definitely would have been pissed if I paid to see it.
Yeah, I saw it for free, so I was like, oh, it's pretty funny. Okay.
Even if I had Movie Pass back then, I probably still wouldn't have gone to go see it in theaters.
Because, I mean, to me, there's only
It's like
one
the way
movie.
you described Chips. How
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
kind of
Is it
shitted
like
on Chips.
Is it like
but
that? I
you
mean,
was
because
just
Chips
"It's
was
not
like,
bad."
yeah, it's not bad, but it wasn't really like funny.
I don't think Dak is funny.
I've never seen
That Shepard,
I don't think it's
I
funny at all.
love that dude.
I don't think it's funny at all.
Like, I'll go see it if the movie's coming out. I was like, yeah, he's in it. Like, I want to go see it.
Nah.
He's funnier to me when he's trying to play like the straight man of the movie.
He was in this movie called Hit and Run. Y'all see Hit and Run?
No.
No.
Joint with his wife?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw
That
that.
movie was great.
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny. But anyway, we have
Rom-com?
No,
No,
it was
it's more like an action adventure kind
yeah,
of foolishness.
Yeah,
But
like,
yeah, with foolishness thrown into it. Yeah.
Do you say foolishness?
foolishness.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a bunch of topics we want to get to. Man, where do we want to start off? We want to start serious, or we want to get a little nerdy?
Let's get nerdy first.
Nerdy. All right, so
Because I want to see Brown's take on nerdy.
DC has fucked with people for a very long time, and I mean DC Comics, because
Oh, you don't mean the city?
no, just like
okay.
we are at the city.
We're
can't
going
get rid of
nerdy
that.
first.
We can't get rid of the city. All right? But no, so for the longest time in the DC Batman comics, Batman and Catwoman were to be married. They've been going through this entire thing where they went through the engagement process. Fucking Joker has tried to stop the wedding. Different people have tried to stop the wedding. They're like,
Joker is
all right,
such a hater.
we're going from this big ass wedding to this small wedding, or we might elope and do this and that. And so the issue 50, where they were finally supposed to get married, was supposed to come out, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. On the Sunday before, DC tells the New York Times or New York Post, one of them.
The
news
New York
articles,
Times.
Yeah, they say, hey, this is what happens in the issue. Batman and Catwoman don't get married.
Why would they do
What the
that?
fuck?
Wait, is that a surprise to people?
It's not a It's somewhat of a surprise to
It's
people,
a-
but
it's
it's more
a-
so that you spoiled your own comic before it came out.
But why would they get married? That's kind of kills the whole.
Yeah,
dynamic
why
of
would they
Batman
get married?
Catwoman.
Why would anybody expect them to go
I
through
mean,
with it?
I don't
Is the
know.
real
They're
thing.
like,
question.
Why not? We're like-
Because that, first off,
That kills
I mean,
the whole entire dynamic
it
of
kills
Batman
the
and
dynamic
Catwoman.
of will they, won't they,
Why?
are they, aren't they?
It's like a Ross and Rachel type thing.
Also, unless again, we're gonna go into this
Didn't
whole
Ross get
thing.
Rachel though?
But it took like 7 seasons.
At the very end.
How long
and
has
they had a
Batman
baby
been out?
together.
What are y'all talking
This
about?
comic's been going on for years.
Forever.
Also, I mean, again,
It's about time this man settled
What
down.
benefit-
yo.
They
wait,
say anything.
wait,
They've been
what
flirting since
benefit?
91, 92 and Batman Returns.
what benefit do either of them get from storyline wise from being married? Except for then we get to kill off a spouse thing and have them be more tragically
you-
sad than they already are.
Selena gets to be rich.
You've
Yeah, but
already,
She's already rich.
You've already.
I know
She
Selena
gets
Kyle's
to be
story. She's
legally
already rich.
She gets to be
Right,
legally
right.
rich.
Why? Then you gotta pay taxes on that shit. Fuck that. Be illegally
It's her
rich.
husband's money. Why would she care?
Then first of all, then why would Batman be with somebody who does everything opposite of what he does? She kills.
Well, no, she's
steals.
already transitioned into more of a hero.
Right, she has
She's
gone-
she's
she
part
has
of the
gone
Batman.
hero.
Yeah, she's been more of an anti-hero.
But okay, which we all know he's adopted about 7 of them at this point.
We've
so
seen him
it
as
don't
a
even matter.
father.
That's another reason why it could actually work. Because guess what? You don't have to be Batman anymore. At least for a story arc, you can have it where Dick Grayson's already taken over for him before. He can have someone else
It's
take
gotta be
over the
Batman.
mantle of Batman.
It's
for
no
him.
Bruce Wayne without Batman. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You gotta have Batman.
Yeah, I got a.
He has.
I gotta
If you
split
don't have,
side on that
if you
one.
don't have Bruce Wayne as Batman, then it's just like a bunch of kids running
Actually,
in
the only
tights.
I would
done
take
it before.
Damian
They
Wayne
did
as
it when
Batman.
they did it when he broke his back. Dick Grayson.
He was a
was
good
Batman.
villain. He was a good
That's
villain.
why I said,
Granted.
that's why I said.
Yeah, he was
that's
a
why I
good
said
villain.
a story arc. I didn't say a permanent. I said
Okay,
a story
yeah.
arc.
Okay, I'm switching back to yours.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to say anybody who was surprised that they actually didn't go through with it,
I wouldn't
I
shock.
feel like you weren't paying attention to the past 50 plus years.
Oh no, he was ready to go through with it. She was the one who called it off.
Again, I
She
feel
was
like you weren't
look,
paying attention.
She was like, look, the moment you get me, you're going to be happy. And if you're happy, you're not going to be able to be Batman anymore.
Literally, that's his whole shtick is the
He's
world.
miserable.
Right,
Yes.
I'm miserable, but I'm going to save the world to ease a little of my
every
misery.
Batman movie. Oh,
He's-
I'm gonna get the girl. No, you're not. He look.
Not even the
I mean,
movies.
Is the comic book
Literally-
he get the girl?
Technically, in the first Batman, he did get the girl.
Okay,
He
but-
just
First of all,
didn't keep the
is
girl.
Batman even fucking? That's the question.
He might be
I
asexual.
mean, in the comics, him and Catwoman got it on a starry night on a roof.
That's one. That's Catwoman.
I got like,
Anybody else?
He
Well,
has a,
Talia raped him.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
don't know.
Okay, that doesn't count.
That's his son, right?
Why do you keep running back
I'm
to
not
rape
crazy.
shit? Okay.
So here's the thing. So I don't know if they ever actually got down to it, but there was an issue of Deathstroke where Batman said he
So with
had
Deathstroke?
proof that Damian was Deathstroke's son. So whether or not that was real or not, I never actually read past that.
Okay, but right now he's still carrying the last name Wayne, right? So his asshole, that's still his son for now. No, I love Damian Wayne. We're not gonna go there. I love the Bat
Talia
kids.
raped Batman.
He did.
I
She
mean,
did.
I mean, she did, but
She
it's still
did.
funny
But
to
hold
hear.
on. Is Batman smashing anything besides Catwoman? I just thought about that. That's
Did
not
him
that
and Vicky
doesn't
Vale
matter.
never hook up? They never hooked up? Him and
Wait, that doesn't even matter. What benefit? Like she said, it takes away his whole shtick is I'm miserable, so I'm gonna save
He has
my
to be mi-
city
he
to
has
be
to
a
be
little
miserable.
bit to make the world a
she
little
said-
He
less
has to be
miserable.
miserable.
Yeah,
He has to be miserable.
That's
she said,
his
you're still
shtick.
that little boy.
Yeah, he's still
has to
missing
be
mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
He's not gonna fix that by marrying her.
Hold on. We're not going to sit here and pretend that is the worst breakup line ever.
What?
Okay. Oh, we can't get married because that would change who you are and
But it
we need you
does.
to be. No, man, but
The city needs you.
You would settle with that? Someone broke up with you like that?
If I'm Batman,
it would make you too happy
rich as
to be
shit.
with
If
you.
I'm Batman,
So I can't make you happy
first
because
of all, he's still gonna smash.
I can't make you happy because I would be happy.
yeah,
Look.
because there would be just too much.
but I'm
happiness.
Batman.
You can't be. Who said you can't be happy and be Batman? at the same time?
You can't be the Dark Knight and be a
And
happy
just
person.
to clarify the timeline, they've actually been going back and forth since at least the 1940s.
So there you
So-
go. A lot longer than Ross and Rachel.
That was their
Exactly.
first encounter was in 1940 in the first issue of the original Batman series. Thank you very
You
much.
cannot be the Dark Knight and be happy. It just doesn't make sense. It's an oxymoron. A Dark Knight happy? No. You can't do it.
I don't know. everything that Batman's been through, as both Batman and Bruce Wayne, I feel like a breakup of this type of proportion would just drive somebody to suicide, Joe.
Look, the hero's journey.
He's like, you telling me I'm doomed to be unhappy and brooding forever?
Because you took on the mantle of Batman.
We already know that Bruce Wayne's mental state is fractured. Not even fractured. It's just really broken.
Dark Knight Rises, he gave up Batman. He was going to let old boy be Batman, all right? So that means he wanted happiness.
Exactly. This man wants to be happy.
Okay, so in
And his happiness was with Selena.
Exactly.
In reading the New York Times article, though, they even mentioned multiple times throughout multiple comics where Batman himself has mentioned that I need my misery to do this job.
Exactly.
So Batman himself, Bruce himself, put himself in this fucking box.
So he
you can't be mad when people then want to leave.
change?
No, I'm not saying
He's
that.
been Batman for what, so long? He's never gotten over the fact that his mom and dad got shot in front of him. He don't get over something like that with therapy. He needs to arrest people and kill people and beat those jokers.
But let's be honest. I mean, if he's as forward thinking as he always claims to be, then he knows eventually he can't be Batman forever. So
And
why
to be
not
fair,
be happy?
let's give her due for what she actually says is that she writes to him that their happiness.
She wrote to him. She texted that man.
No, they both sent letters to each other. They sent
She
letters.
sent him a text.
No, she did not do a Joe Jonas.
That's still a little kid. Be a little kid, Bruce.
No, they sent each other letters where she actually says, our happiness would kill Batman, who rescues everyone and turns pain into hope. How can I do that? To save the world, heroes make sacrifices. And so she's doing the superhero thing where she's doing, I'm sacrificing myself and my happiness for the world.
Whole Bat family.
He's like
that can take up
he's
the
like
mantle and can help out.
45 at this point.
He
When he's
can't-
just to retire.
But he's a control freak.
Also, you can't.
That's why he's in charge.
You can't turn.
Okay,
take
he
the
can be
villain.
old
Wait,
man
time out,
Bruce.
time
Go
out.
ahead, go
He can't take a. He took a villain.
Batman.
So my understanding is this: he took somebody who was kind of not a super dangerous villain, but a villain, and helped through their constant encounters turn her into an anti-hero. You can't put her on the right path, the path that you're on too, and not expect her to take some of those lessons to heart.
She's gonna steal.
She took that superhero motto where sacrifice myself and what my happiness for the rest of the world to make everybody else happy. She took that to heart. Why you mad? You taught her that.
Look, and that's why I revert.
on everybody.
And that's why I revert back to Superman being a dark character because he never gets Lois Lane. I don't care what you say, Sirius.
What?
He doesn't get Lois Lane.
Lois and Clark, The Real Adventures of Superman.
What are we talking
That was a
about?
really good show. It was a great show.
I'm talking about.
What are we talking about?
Does he get Lois Lane, like have a baby? No.
Yes, there is a
The
comic book
Injustice
series right
storyline.
now that I have in my house called Super Sons.
First of all, how the hell is Lois Lane carry his baby?
Dog, they have a son named Jonathan Kent.
Right.
Why
I have a
wouldn't she?
comic book. It's Damian Wayne and is Batman's son and Superman's
talking
son
about comic book,
teaming
we talking
up
about reality?
called Super Sons.
Both. All of it is canon, so to say.
Okay. In the canon, I'm throwing an argument out there. Could Superman still be Superman if he was tied down and married?
Yes.
See, look, Super Sons. There you go.
That's Lois's child?
Yes, that's Lois's child.
So he's half human?
Yes.
So why is he flying?
No, he can't. He can't really fly. He just jumps really high,
Like his clone.
like
Superboy?
Superboy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Oh, Superboy can't fly?
No.
Why you
He
going
can't
for
fly.
Cornell? Leave Cornell out of this. He's had enough trouble.
I don't know.
Yeah, he can't fly.
Connor has had a lot
He
of
jumps
trouble.
very high.
And he's very strong.
Yeah.
He's got some issues. A little tragic.
And he had daddy issues also. And he's brooding and dark.
Hold on, but that
does have daddy
that
issues.
was one of the clones that Lex Luthor made.
Yeah, it's not his fault, okay? It's
so
not his fault.
he's half Lex, half.
But he's
half
brooding and
half
a clone
Superstar.
and angry. That's what makes him a good hero. Damian Wayne, brooding and angry, daddy issues.
Also, slightly a serial killer. Slightly serial killer tendencies.
And he's a great hero.
He died a hero though.
No one's
He was
more
killed-
serial killer
He was
than
actually
Jason
killed by a
Todd.
clone of himself.
Jason Todd, anti-hero.
Deadpool's not anti-hero at
Daddy
this point.
issues.
Super
and
daddy issues.
Oh,
death
that
issues.
fool was killed in the Marvel Universe
Super
twice.
daddy issues.
So
Jason Todd's
therefore,
daddy issues.
without
nobody's
darkness,
business.
Batman cannot be Batman. He needs that. He needs
I mean,
to
even
brood.
if you want to look at his, you can
What I'm
talk
saying
about
is,
how,
at
you
some
know.
point, Batman can't be Batman anyway.
He's gonna die.
We had a comic line where
So-
Jim Gordon was Batman.
God.
That was a horrible one. I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't read it. I just remember that ugly ass suit.
I mean, which is probably why
That
Dick
suit of
Grayson
armor.
doesn't
that
last
suit of armor that
long
looks skin tight
at
underneath.
Batman, because Dick Grayson really does want to be happy. He's taken a lot of what Bruce has taught him to heart, but he really wants to be happy too, which
So-
is why he'll never be a long-lasting
That's
Batman.
because Dick doesn't fully understand what it
That's
means.
Well,
to
that
be-
Dick had a,
because Dick doesn't
depending
always think with his head.
Well, it's also depending on what version of his childhood you go with.
Dick doesn't
Dick
think
had
with
a
his head?
childhood.
Well, he thinks with a head.
Okay.
No. It also depends. Depending on what timeline you're in for his origin story, Dick had a good childhood that he carries with him, which a lot of them haven't.
But
And a lot of them carry, which is what makes them a better superhero long term.
Yeah, because remember,
Dick's not meant to be Batman all
teenager
that
when his
time.
parents died.
yeah.
Depending on which one you go with. Some of them he was only about
He was Chris
10.
O'Donnell
Yeah.
when his parents died.
So, you
So
know.
that made him, what, like 25, 30?
Yeah, about 30.
But
He was able to process his emotions a lot better.
the thing
He had
is,
therapy.
think about the happy
Oh, Chris was so
superheroes.
rich, you know what? I'm going to adopt a 30-year-old Chris O'Donnell.
Fuck that, adopt me. Like if some rich old millionaire said, hey, I know you sad and I feel bad for you, and I know you're about 32, but I'm gonna adopt you because I feel bad for you, and you're gonna be rich too. Fuck yes. Thank
Yes,
you.
Mr. Drummond?
Thank you. Do you want me to call you daddy? Is that what you would like? Let's make that work.
But here's the thing: when you go on the hero journey, the hero's journey, how it goes, you got to have some darkness to
Well, it
start off
depends
with.
on what hero journey you're on. There are lots of hero journeys where they
But
don't
it
have
always
darkness.
starts off bad.
Not all of them.
Well, name one hero that comes up like, oh, I had a great time to be a hero. It doesn't happen that way. You solve something, something happened to you.
Do you want to go historical or do you
mean,
and real or based on
We're going
mythology?
to come.
Wasn't that
Comic.
Shazam? Shazam was just a
Yeah.
happy-ass kid.
Yeah, that's
who
what I'm
just
thinking,
like,
yeah.
Shazam!
In my head, I was
mean,
going
wasn't
through,
he an
I was
orphan?
going through the
Starfire?
whole Justice League, and I was like,
Starfire got kicked out of her. Didn't she get kicked out of like her?
But that she had a
like
good
chased off
childhood.
a planet or something.
She had a good childhood.
she was
she
chased
was an
off a
adult.
planet.
She was.
But she got made-
later.
but she
off
had
the
that
planet.
tragedy in the beginning
Exactly.
that molds him. Into
So a hero needs a tragedy built for a
Supergirl.
hero.
Green Lantern,
Supergirl.
Hal Jordan in particular.
He crashed in a plane and couldn't fly anywhere.
I thought his dad
Wonder
crashed
Woman.
playing in front of him.
Wonder Woman.
And Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman didn't have
no tragedy there.
no tragedy in the early start. She lived a quiet life on that island.
Well, she didn't turn into a superhero. She was more so already.
She's a god. There's a
She's a
difference.
god.
She's a
She's a
god,
god.
yeah.
There's a
And
difference.
on top of that, being
She
a
ain't no
god.
new god, though.
I mean,
But she-
she's,
but
she's
she-
the original gods.
But
She's
she
definitely-
will show them new gods.
She's
Fuck up them
not.
old
She's not
gods.
happy.
Huh?
Wonder Woman's not happy.
Is she not? I think she's pretty happy.
Steve Trevor
Okay,
died.
that's movie Wonder Woman, and that's in 1984. Thank you.
Yeah.
And he comes back.
Animated and comic book Wonder
Yeah,
Woman
she's
is
pretty happy.
She's pretty happy.
She's living a good life.
Okay, in animated Wonder Woman, she does not have Superman. She's by herself.
Wonder
she doesn't
Girl.
have Batman.
I mean, if we're
She
doing
got
also
Superman
younger
for a
ones,
little bit.
Wonder
She got it for a
Girl.
hot minute.
Yeah, for a hot minute.
She tasted it.
The original Green Arrow didn't get tragedy till he became a superhero and decided he was going to start doing heroin.
Are we talking about?
The comic book version.
that was Roy.
No, that
Roy.
was yeah, that was Roy.
Sorry, Roy.
Yeah,
And there, see,
He was always still stranded on the island, though.
heroes need tragedy to build from.
No, not all of them do.
Yes, they need it to
Well,
forge them.
we just said Wonder Woman, so that.
I mean, I could also
her
give you that. If
her
you're not just
kingdom
talking-
died once it invaded.
But that was after she became Wonder Woman. That was not.
I mean,
But she was lied to that she was part
But
God.
that wasn't a tragedy for her. She was living a good
Hey,
life.
your dad's who? I have a father.
And actually, she didn't.
Zeus? What the? You lied to me.
It wasn't really that he's
That's
her
not
father.
tragedy.
It was that Zeus created her.
Finding out who your dad is isn't tragedy.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
If you never met him in a tragedy.
That's not
No.
Hey
tragedy.
man, I'm digging up some old past here. I know.
But it also wasn't. It was more so that Zeus created her, not that he fathered her. There's very specific terms there. Created with gods means that I literally could have taken this flower and said, "You will now be."
But she did not know
Narcissus.
her history, so therefore
That's not tragedy.
damage.
That's more so just like
Curiosity.
self-discovery. Yeah, that's not tragedy.
So if you tell me,
like
if you don't-
Batman's parents dying.
He saw it.
Superman
Depending on
losing
which version you go
Krypton.
with, Batman saw his parents be shot.
Yeah,
So
those
that's
are
a tragedy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Wonder Woman is more like that adoptive kid who just finds out that they were adopted, like back
That's
when they were-
tragic.
right when they
That's
turned
not-
18.
that's an
that's
identity
not-
crisis. That's an identity crisis. You think you're one with all of a
No,
sudden?
that
I'm part
depends-
God.
that
I'm part
depends on your
God.
definition
I
of
have powers.
tragedy.
Oh shit, I have powers. No.
That
And you're
depends
going
on
back and forth. Should I
your-
use them? Should I not use them? Am I good? Am I evil? It's
Also,
it's
if
to
you're
go with.
if you want to go outside of comic books, I can give you a recent Percy Jackson and the Olympians. That motherfucker is half god. It wasn't a tragedy for him to find out. He was like, shit, that explains why I have dyslexia.
his mom died.
No, she does not. Sally does not die.
She does.
She
does
does.
not. No, she
does.
doesn't. In the book, she does not die because
Oh,
he's got a
I'm
sister.
going to
I
I
didn't
read the book.
No, I'm going.
I gotta go.
She
move
doesn't
and
die in the
listen.
movie
Yeah,
either.
she does.
No, because he goes back home.
No, he
In the
doesn't.
second-
He meets him
In
in
the
the
second one.
In the second one, she might have.
She
died.
dies in the
dies.
first. She
No,
dies in the
she
first
dies.
one because he's a son of Poseidon.
Right. She died.
And again,
No,
God
not
was
in,
fucking
not in
humans.
the first one. I don't think she died in the first one.
Fact check. That's it.
I'm gonna
It's
fact check
too much
this shit
argument.
because I'm like, wait, I
Black
know
man.
for a fact in the books he has a
We know,
sister now.
we know what we're talking about.
So I know for a
But
fact.
the hero's journey starts with a tragedy. That's how it works.
His doesn't.
Luke Skywalker started with tragedy.
Is Luke a hero? Are we
yeah.
arguing that Luke is the hero?
Luke is the hero.
The only hero?
Not the only hero, but he's the hero.
Yeah, he's a hero.
He's the hero.
He's
And
something.
yeah, and
I mean, technically, Leia was about that life before
Thank
she
you.
knew she was adopted, so
Thank you.
she was already a hero.
Yes, but again, the story focused on Luke.
No, it focused on Luke and Leia because the whole Luke's whole journey started with having to
Leia
get
lost.
Leia.
Oh man,
She lost Alderaan.
Star Wars fans are gonna hate me. Calderon.
Alderaan. She saw a planet blow up.
You guys are gonna hate
But
me too.
technically,
Okay.
she was already a part of the rebellion, being a
She
hero
sure was.
before that happened.
She sure was because the whole planet was.
But her powers did not come
No,
up
excuse me.
until the planet blew up.
The Minotaur in the Percy Jackson movie appears to kill Sally. Appears. Then you find out this is thank the Lord for the internet. Just come to the end. In the post-credit scene, Sally is in the back in the apartment. His mother is alive. She does not die.
Post credit, like
It counts because she's in the second one.
back
No,
then, I
but
totally
he
didn't wait
only
till after
drives
the credits,
forward because she
man.
thinks she dies.
No, he grind forward because he had a Sadar sitting in the passenger seat with him with some hooves
That-
saying,
no,
"Hey, yo,
that-
bro,
that's
let's
a good
go."
point.
But
That's
she
a good
thinks
point.
he thinks she
she's
died.
dead, and
He has
that's
nothing
what
else to
puts him-
lose.
That's what puts him on the journey.
Oh, I thought it was the fact that the guys thought he stole something. and
Yeah,
trying to kill
they
his
were trying to
ass.
come for him.
No,
They thought
but
he
the
stole
only
the
reason
life
why he
people.
That's
did
why, that's why he was the lightning thief.
Like screw his mother, like not to screw his mother, but like
Damn.
he also had to think about shit. They still coming, so
Sorry,
mommy
Mom.
is dead, but they still coming for me. I don't have time to take a moment and breathe. I gotta go.
I still say that all heroes start from a dark place. Have to be.
I mean, we are kind of like finding examples to debunk that.
I'm not debunking it. He thought his mother was dead.
Hercules.
Hercules thought he was something else. His father rejected him the whole time.
He did
Zeus
not reject
rejected
him.
him.
His father put him there for safety because Hera, who was his stepmother,
Wanted
decided
to
that she
kill
wanted
him.
to kill him. But he didn't
That's
know that.
tragedy.
He didn't know that.
Somebody wanting to kill you is not tragedy.
Achilles.
What?
Nah, somebody
Achilles.
wanting to kill you is not a tragedy.
Achilles.
Okay, Achilles. Let's see. Dipped him by his ankle.
Nah, he lived a charmed life.
He died at like
Achilles.
20.
Yeah, but he knew that was coming. That was
Yeah.
when it happened. He actually didn't. I
He
don't
wa-
think because he was worried. He didn't have to worry about anybody but
I
his
have to
ankle.
look more into that, but I think Achilles started from tragedy also.
He didn't.
Was he a hero?
Yes.
To
Seeing
whom?
as how he was in
so
the Trojan War.
He was gold.
Okay, I was thinking about that one too.
To go.
It's the only one. But
I would say, no
But-
tragedy.
No
He was just a
tragedy.
cheat.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, but he
Achilles is defined as a Greek hero with his most notable
a
feat
Greek
being,
hero.
being during the Trojan
The hero is a
War
hero.
because he slayed Hector.
But were the Trojans
Oh
bad
man,
people?
he killed Hector. I like Hector. I saw Hector last night in The Purge. He had a different name other than Hector too.
Did he?
Yeah.
What's his real name? Eric Bana?
No,
Yeah.
I mean Hector. You know that Hector. The Hector that's always
Oh, Hector.
Hector.
Oh man, you know the guy that plays Hector in
the
everything.
Spanish dude
The
that
Spanish
always
dude.
plays the dude named Hector.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, well, if I pull up a picture, he gonna show you a picture. You'll be like, oh yeah, his name is Hector, his real name, and in movies, everything he plays in, his name is Hector.
Oh,
There's-
what? His real name's not Hector?
No.
What?
Oh, Hector.
Hector, yeah.
Hector.
Achilles
No.
pretty much had a good life up until the Trojan
But
War.
the Trojan War, was Achilles a hero, or were they an invading army?
It's a
No,
war.
it was
of
a
two
war.
They were an invading
perspectives.
army.
No,
It
they
was
weren't. They
two
were
different
going.
perspectives.
Paris stole Helen from them.
Stole schmoll.
That was just an excuse for them
It
to start
was.
that
It
war.
was.
Exactly.
But-
So that was an excuse for the Greeks to start the war.
To be honest, we're also arguing about a fictional war that was just written about in a book.
Oh, yeah,
and they
that
have
actually
proof.
happened.
No.
They found Troy.
They found Troy, but they don't know if the Trojan War actually happened.
They
because
found
it was
Troy.
written about, so
Troy's real.
Did they find the horse? That would solidify.
That'd be
that
badass though.
story.
Wouldn't it be?
That would
Wouldn't it be
solidify that story.
like mummified somewhere?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Anyway.
Mummified. It was like
It was-
wood.
they actually don't think it was really a horse.
So it was,
They think it was more
just
like just.
An allegory.
They actually not a
metaphor
full
for
horse.
something.
They think it was actually just the head of a horse, and underneath, like they were literally like holding it up. Yeah. There was, I went to see some historical talk down at the Spy Museum by this woman who does battle ancient warfare as her like focus of study. It was really interesting, and she talked about the way the soldiers would line up and the way that how the Greeks and the Romans actually battled each other, and they had different lineups, and how one would go forward with shields and one would go forward with their spikes, and it really changed, and how battles changed.
Style.
Yeah, but how it changed throughout the years, because she even started going through into like Persia. It was very, very, very interesting. But like she said, more and more proof is coming that it might not have been an actual big horse like we imagined it was.
Like they showed on the movie.
Yes, a big horse with people hid in it.
It's a really good movie, by the way.
It might have been just a giant head that they built as a distraction, and then it's basically you see that? And
So
you look, and they come in and storm your house.
What idiot let that jump through the gates?
I mean,
hey, there's like 10 guys
if a
holding up
giant
the
horse
head.
head, if a giant
Bring
because
everyone in.
Also,
But again,
they believed in the gods.
Exactly.
So
They
a
believe
giant
in the
horse
gods.
head is up there. You're gonna be like, holy fuck, it's Zeus.
So they think it's a sacrifice, a homage to the gods. So like, oh, we gotta bring those in.
Yep.
If we don't do, if we
And
don't
then
bring
meanwhile,
that in, we'll be
they roll
smited.
on in and they smite the shit out of you, left, right, and center. So like,
They killed everybody.
It was very interesting.
No, the way Troy showed it, you hear the term rape and pillage, yo.
They raped them.
When I got old enough to like really focus on that movie, I said, yo, there's a lot of rape in that last war scene.
Are you like in a
I'm
weird place right now?
just saying, like it kind of like damaged me.
You started off with the whole thing with raping people. So I'm just like, me
all
too.
right, so look, what we're not going to do this week
Again.
Here, wait,
Again?
here. Let me
Because
help you out.
last week you didn't like women who were like in movies. I'm just saying.
Let me help you out in that historically they actually don't know how much raping and pillaging actually happened on the rape side.
Okay.
It might have been more
It's a lot of pillaging.
A pillaging and an enslavement.
Well, I mean, because according
Now,
to
granted,
Troy and
there
according to
were
that show
always-
Vikings, like that's just what they
Well, no,
did.
there
They-
were
when they
always the
raped and
assholes
pillaged,
who
they
were
raped.
They do.
who were out of the norm. Actually, that's strange because we'll leave that alone for another day. But
It doesn't go too far in the rape.
no, it goes too far into a little bit of historical anthropological information that you can get. But
Okay, yeah, we'll say that.
the rape might have been a little less. Yes, of course, there's always going to be that asshole who does what he wants to do. But it was more on the enslavement and the taking away the people. They didn't really start all that shit until they got to us.
And that can be considered rape also.
Yeah, it's a rape
Okay.
of your nation. I hate to use this term this way. I'm really sorry, but a rape of a nation, in that they're taking your people. Your
And that's what
young,
rape
your-
is. You take something you're not
So-
supposed to take.
Oh, okay. Hey, man, I learned something new.
So,
But again, we're not going to turn me into a rapist this week. Just like how I was turned into a sexist.
Like I
last
said,
week.
You don't like women in movies. I'm
I
just saying.
totally know how to remove your scrotum if that got to that point. So just so we're clear.
So I'm going to call back the Blankman's question earlier. Miles Morales technically had no type of tragedy.
Oh man, he was winning.
Like
Yeah.
he had both,
Miles winning?
he had both his parents. He was accepted into a school where you had to win a lottery, where it was a lottery chance of him getting in. He like
I have to read up on that because it's got to be in every hero's journey.
It doesn't
it
have
does
to
have a dark
be.
part.
Miles
It
got
doesn't have
no,
to be.
literally. Only reason Miles got his powers is because his uncle was a thief. His uncle broke into a lab. The spider attached himself.
The
to like-
Prowler.
yeah, the Prowler. His uncle attached himself. I mean, the spider attached himself to something that the uncle stole, and the spider bit Miles when he was at his uncle's house.
What about Miss Marvel?
Which one, Camilla?
No, Carol Danvers.
I don't know.
I don't believe she had tragedy.
Oh, dog.
She got her powers in an explosion, but that's not. There was no early tragedy. No, it was a work
An
explosion.
explosion.
Did
That sounds
anybody
like-
else die in that explosion?
Yes.
'Cause if
Hold
they
on.
did, that's
It's a tragedy.
That is tragic.
No, because Captain Marvel saved her life.
Because the Creed was planning to invade planet Earth.
Yeah, but she didn't have a
Yeah, she
personal
didn't have any
tragedy.
personal tragedy.
An
Nobody
explosion
died.
happened. An explosion happened.
Nobody died.
An explosion.
Shit, I'm sorry, the
You got
building's
blown
gone.
up. I mean,
No,
that's-
she didn't die. She became a superhero. I'm sorry, the building was gone, but damn, now I can rebuild the building
Somebody died
myself.
in that building. A
So,
janitor. Somebody.
side note about Captain Marvel. Apparently, Samuel L. Jackson, he's in the movie. They're de-aging him 25 years through the entire movie.
Shut the fuck up.
I want to see that
So
one.
he's gonna look like how he looked in
Oh, shit.
Coming to America.
Or Snakes on a Plane. He's looked the same since like Jungle Fever.
Black Snake
I
Moon.
literally just read that yesterday.
Great
I was
movie, by
like,
the
oh
way.
shit.
I mean, they did it to Robert Downey Jr.
yeah, but that was in moments. This is going to
This
be
gonna be
the
a whole
entire
movie.
movie.
That's gonna
Well,
be weird.
the good thing is he's always looked the same.
Here, let's give you the list because Google is very, very helpful. Here's a list of superheroes that do not have tragic
And Hal Jordan
backgrounds.
is right there.
No, he has a tragic. Let's start with Marvel.
What about Batgirl?
So, War Machine.
Paralyzed.
Which Batgirl?
No, she wasn't
Which
paralyzed.
Batgirl? Cassandra Cain, or are we going with Barbara Gordon?
Barbara. 'Cause
She was paralyzed.
later on, but she was a hero before she was paralyzed.
Right.
So
reason she stopped being a hero.
Yeah, when she got paralyzed, she
you got
became
War.
Oracle.
So here's who they give you. They give you War Machine, Cypher, Mockingbird, Union Jack. Hal Jordan is by far the biggest example. He had a sweet life before they started killing off his girlfriends left, right, and center.
Yeah. That's not. But he was already
The
Green
Atom.
Lantern.
Static Shock. Oh damn, y'all all miss Static Shock. Damn.
Yeah. He
Was he
grew up-
adopted or something? So he has to be adopted.
No, he was a geek, but he had both his parents.
Is
his
growing
stable
up in the
home.
hood a
I was
tragedy?
about to say, because in the cartoon,
I
his
don't
mom
think
was
Isn't being black
Nope.
a
in the
tragedy?
cartoon, his mom was dead. I don't know about
No,
comics.
not in the comics.
Oh, okay.
Stargirl. So that's about all they've
Is that
got.
Howard the Duck? What is?
No,
what
that's
is it?
Rubber Duck.
Rubber Duck.
Rubber Duck.
Boom, even Rubber Duck. So
Okay, let me
No, it's
redefine
debunked,
my
man.
thing
He's
here.
going to say most of the good heroes.
No, I'm saying most of. Let's say
wait.
90% of all heroes start with the hero journey
I
starts
mean,
with
you
tragedy.
could also go with like the Flash. There's different versions of the Flash, and I'm almost certain Bart Allen's.
There's only one version of the Flash. I'm
No,
Bart.
there's
only
Kid
one.
Flash. There's
His
multiple.
mom died.
Which one?
He's only accepting Barry.
I'm only
Which
accepting
one?
Barry.
That's what he's
Oh,
saying.
okay.
Barry.
Well,
I was say that's what he's trying to
Because
say.
if you're
There's
going
like
with future,
5 of them.
Yeah,
You
if you're
can't
going with the
just
one who came
accept-
back
I'm only
from the
accepting Barry.
future. I mean, even when
Old and new one. Barry. It's the only one.
okay, Iris West.
Wally's still the fastest though.
Yeah.
Iris West's mom was a drug addict. And she didn't know her mom.
Nope. Barry Allen did not have any sort of tragic backstory. Neither did Wally West. He actually just got struck by
Barry-
lightning when
Barry
visiting
Allen's
Barry.
mom died.
Yeah, Barry Allen's mom.
No, they say it. Is that comics or is that?
That's show
No, that's-
and
yeah, that's
animated.
animated and-
I believe.
Yeah,
comics.
I have the new Flash #1 volume, and yeah, his mom died in that.
Let's see.
I mean, of course,
it wasn't until much later that when they rebooted his story, that it came out that his mother was murdered and his father was found guilty. So his original origin story, because we didn't specify how far back
I mean,
we're
if
going.
we're going off of the origin, like if I'm going back to like
Most
the
of the
90s,
Green Lanterns
I
just had a
remember
ring
in the-
come out of
what was it?
nowhere.
In the
So-
in the original Flash TV show with John Wesley Shipp when he had that terrible muscle suit,
Yeah.
that dude was in a fucking chemical explosion that like blew him out
I
of a
will
building.
say, most of the Green
That's
Lanterns.
a tragedy right there.
Most of the Green Lanterns were living just normal lives, no tragic backstory, and then the ring
But the
popped
tragic
up.
Yeah,
backstory
and the
of
ring chosen.
But the tragic backstory of the Green Lantern was the fact that somebody had died for them becoming the Green Lantern.
Thor.
But it had nothing to do with him.
His father kicked him out of Asgard.
He was born a god.
He was
though.
born a god. He lived in Asgard. Asgard
Hey.
is literally
He was just like, I am a god.
I'm gonna argue this one forever.
She-Hulk?
Debunked, man. We're giving you.
She got turned to a Hulk. That's tragic enough.
That's not a
I'm about to
backstory.
say,
No,
no,
she
That's a
embraced the
backstory.
shit.
No,
out
but
of
she
that.
was
green.
She was dying from something, wasn't she?
No.
So her turning into the Hulk was a win.
Yeah, that's what happened.
I don't see how that's a win. I don't see how that's a
Yeah.
win.
And she was like permanent Hulk.
Yeah,
It
'cause she
wasn't
was
like
dying.
she can't
she
switch
was dying
back.
for something.
Hold
So
on.
Bruce gave her
So
something.
Hawkman, both Golden Age and Silver Age, they are just reincarnated Egyptian royalty, but there was no cycle of death in reverse until much later on. So both of them were actually, and then in Silver Age, Hawkman and Hawkgirl were just a married police couple who just magically became.
I think we can stop now. I,
I mean,
think that's
like,
enough.
No, I don't think so. I don't
Goes.
think so.
that,
Nope.
that you don't have to be
Nope.
grounded in tragedy to
So,
be a
yes, you
hero.
do.
so
Someone
on,
point
on to the next topic.
Right,
Right.
I think
I don't
that's
care.
a wrap.
Somewhere at some point.
So yes, Batman
Tragedy has to
Batman
happen.
can be happy and
Nope.
be Batman at the
No, he
same
can't.
time.
No, he
that's
can't.
like that's just, he
He's gonna
can't.
change his suit to what, gold? And fed flowers and stuff on it?
I mean, he might team up
I mean,
with Superman, and they might just be, the new
Superbat?
bright symbols of hope.
Superbat. Just be Superbat.
Do a fusion dance.
Like the Wonder Twins.
don't
Oh,
do
the
it.
Wonder
Like the Wonder
Twins.
Twins. The Wonder Twins.
Wonder Twin powers activate, man.
It's a bucket of water. That's tragic enough. I'm sorry.
Just one of them.
Space Ghost.
Coast to coast.
Yeah, man. I
Space
think-
Ghost was
Which,
good.
did you know? Wait,
I'll give you Space
time out.
Ghost.
I think
Did you
we
know
have
the
to.
Cartoon Network still stops at 8 o'clock? They don't have shit on anymore, but still at 8 o'clock they stop being a kids channel and go to being Adult Swim.
Yeah, it used to
Adult
be
Swim.
10 o'clock, then they bumped it to 8, yeah.
Like, then what comes on at 8 is Dragon Ball Z, whatever version we're on now. And I'm
Oh,
like,
God, I'm tired of that show.
this is the one? This is what makes you switch
Nah,
to
you gotta
Adult
watch.
Swim?
You gotta watch Super like after episode like 90. That's when.
Just watch
shit
Super,
gets-
period.
That's Super.
That-
Super.
All right,
What
to when
else
it
we
was
talking about?
Tsunami.
What else? We're down the rabbit
Nah,
hole.
that's how you go to the next topic.
What we talking about? What we talking
Fuck
about?
Dragon Ball.
I didn't lose. What we talking about now?
Oh, you lost big time.
Man, I don't want to hear you
This
mouth.
is a whole big
Listen.
handicap match.
What
And you
else?
lost. You got
Let's-
jumped.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in our country. So apparently, the U.S. Army is reportedly going to be discharging immigrants who enlisted.
You good enough to die, you're not good enough to live here, though.
So and one of the reasons they enlisted was because they were informed that this would be a fast track towards
So-
citizenship.
Yeah.
I mean, is there...
Speaking as an Army veteran, fuck Trump, because that's bullshit. Because I'd say the Marine Corps itself is made up of like what, 35% Hispanic. The Air Force is like what, 20% like African. The Army itself is made up of like maybe 15 to 30% of Mexican, Guatemalan, Nicaraguan. So I don't know exactly. You're depleting. First of all, he's depleting his military.
Oh, you know them white people gonna line up in droves. What's
Fuck
wrong with
no.
you?
Nope.
Them white people gonna line up
No,
in
they're
droves.
not. No,
they
they
are all
will
those
not.
proud patriots
They
that
will
they
not
are.
shit. Now who's
That's
standing
what
next
he
to me?
believes. That's what he
Yeah,
believes.
wrong. So you're depleting. First of all, you're depleting your military, which is stupid. Then on top of that, you're depleting your workforce because I'm telling you right now, no white person, no black person in this country is gonna go out picking strawberries in 110-degree weather from sun to sundown. It's not gonna happen. So this shit he's doing right now is pure racism. That's all it is. I don't like brown people.
Who's gonna sign up for the Space Force if you're kicking everyone out?
White people, don't you get it? We've been blocking people of color. His
been
mindset.
blocking white people's
yes,
civil rights?
we've been blocking these true
Isn't there like
patriots.
a white civil rights?
Yeah, August
like,
4th.
August 4th.
It'll be here. We've been blocking those true
Someone gets fucked
patriots
up.
from living their best lives. We've been holding them back, but now all these spaces are going to come up and watch. They're just going to come out in droves. He promises. He's promised them jobs. He ain't say they're going to be real jobs inside with air conditioning.
Man.
He said you getting a job, motherfucker. He just didn't clarify it's going to be picking them fucking strawberries
South
you want
Park
to eat.
said it best. They want all the immigrants gone because they took our jibs.
I don't know,
That's all
but
they did.
I just think that his
Can't take what wasn't there for you.
Said they took our jibs. They want the
Can't ta- You
jibs.
can't take what didn't exist.
well the problem is that the 40% that he's arguing to, that he's talking to, are just downright stupid and racist at the same time. And that's the most dangerous combination in the world: are racist and stupidity.
I mean, and that goes back
40% ain't
to
that
he's
stupid
gutting
either.
education left, right, and center
Exactly.
because the smarter, the more you know, and the more willing you are to go looking for the truth yourself, the more likely you are to recognize when you're being played.
And that's why I
And
say
he recognizes that these people can be played because they're dumb as shit. And
that's
not
why-
all of them are uneducated. Let me give it
ignorance
this.
is bliss.
No, not all of them are uneducated. So let's be clear because
that's
there's
the
a lot
reason-
of right.
that
There are a
doesn't
lot of
racist-
racists.
that's the racist
There's a
part.
lot of educated racists who will justify their racism with some bullshit educational knowledge that they found in some book written by another white person.
Don't you speak Spanish in this restaurant? I'll have you deported.
Fuck you. No habla inglés, motherfucker.
well, I'm
Parlez-vous
saying,
français?
I tell you what, because they don't. What this country fails to
I
realize.
forgot. French people look white, so they
What this country
Depends. Algerians are partly
speak French too.
French.
So Angolas. If what this country realize,
Patience.
if they actually deported all the immigrants, got them all out the country, this country would grind to a screeching fucking halt.
It'd be
Sure.
boring as fuck.
No, because the workforce, the workforce is gone. Okay, no one's driving cabs, no one's cooking your
No,
food,
not even in
no
the-
one's
wait,
watching your
but
kids,
not even
no
in
one's picking
the-
your fruit.
Not
Orange
even in
juice
the
is
menial
$9 a
labor.
bottle.
Not even in the menial labor
I like
category.
Exactly.
How many of our, and he talks about it himself as the few people who will be allowed to get a visa. How many of our engineers, our doctors, our
Steve Jobs.
our technical people, our IT people are from the Middle East, are from Syria, are from India, are from another country, or from China, who we're now in a trade
In
war
Waldorf
with.
alone, the doctors, the Indian doctors own about 4 clinics.
Yeah,
and
because
they're
my
one- and they're one
dermatologist
family.
I'm going to see on Monday is. I mean, how many? So it wouldn't just be your menial labor, that as they call it, workforce that stops. Your high-end workforce is going to stop as well. So that means all those middle Americans who think that, oh my God, the family farm ain't going no more because the immigrants done come in and fuck
Well,
me over.
and if you look
Your
at
life is going to stop.
If you look
It
at,
all stops.
If you look at reports right now, all the middle America are complaining they have nobody to do their jobs for them. They have nobody to milk their cows. And they have nobody to cut the
well,
corn. They have nobody to
guess
pick
you
their
should
fruit.
be,
They have nobody to to kill all the crops together. They don't have anybody. They have no people.
Well, guess you should have thought
white
about
people
that.
said that if there were jobs, that they would be
do
taken
them.
by Americans.
They would do them. The real Americans would do the jobs, except no real
Americans are
Here's
lazy.
the thing. It's not even about real or not real Americans. It's about nobody who does not have to, because they have no other option, is going to go out into a field and pick strawberries for $4.30 a day
Nope.
for 14 hours in 112-degree heat. If I have the option of getting a job at McDonald's, I'm getting the job at McDonald's before I go out in the field.
And black Americans, white Americans will not do McDonald's anymore. We won't have to.
I don't know
If you're
why.
in a rural area, they just gonna sell crystal meth, man.
And I don't even know
That's
why.
about it.
And as
That's a
somebody
good
who's
crop. Easy to make.
Oh no, we're
Is it
starting a new
addictive?
war on drugs. The next war on drugs is starting. You didn't know? Jeff Sessions has a plan.
I thought it was just on the opioids.
No,
They're trying to take away weed too.
he doesn't like weed, which
They
I don't
just
mind.
gave it to us. They're taking it back.
They didn't give. Wait, time out. They didn't give it to you. They gave it to the white people in California and Utah and Colorado. They didn't give it to your black behind because you are still a criminal if you get caught with it. You're still going to jail for 10 to 15 years.
DC will
But
legalize it
I
soon.
can still get it from
DC's
white people,
legalized.
right?
No.
Yeah, you can still get it from white
You
people.
can get it
Yeah.
from the white
Okay.
people, but
Yeah,
don't
sure.
get caught with it. You get caught with it, your ass is going to jail for 10 to 15
Grow
years.
yourself, man.
Whereas if the white woman who sold it to you for $45, however much you sell it, for more than it should be, because you can grow it yourself, she'll get you know what? Make sure you just, vet your clientele a little better and double check to make sure that they've got their cars and that they're really supposed to get it.
But it's insane not to have their crop as like a crop in this country. Colorado's made so much money off of weed alone. So
Yeah, but it doesn't. But
everything.
again,
So
the money
basically-
they've made only benefits the white people in Colorado.
But the thing is this: this whole administration is based on racism, and I
It is.
will go back to this. People say that Donald Trump's not racist is bullshit, and we all know he is.
Our motherfucker said about as racist as
Apparently,
the
the
day
poll
is
shows that
long.
half the country believes that he is racist.
Well, that's a dub poll. Like that should be more than half. I mean, because everything he's doing is,
Yeah.
but everything he's doing is geared towards disenfranchising people of color. If you are,
This
that's just
isn't
what it
news.
is.
This isn't news. The man's been
But the
racist.
thing is, what people don't realize, he's not just disenfranchising people of color. He's disenfranchising poor people too. Because right now in Kentucky is the poorest state in the country, and
Is
they're
it
all
Kentucky? I
white.
thought it was Oklahoma.
It's Kentucky.
Really?
And they're white. And what's his name? Mitch McConnell is a senator from Kentucky.
Yep, that turtle-looking motherfucker. I'm sorry to all the turtles out there. You don't deserve to be lumped in with that
So it's,
motherfucker.
again,
But
and-
that's what he is, a
We're sorry,
turtle-looking motherfucker.
Leonardo, Michelangelo,
Plus on
Donatello, and
top,
Raphael.
plus on top of that is this.
If you're a turtle listening to this podcast, thank you.
Plus on top of this,
Also, let us know how that's working out.
and the biggest point is this: every person in this country right now, for the most part, has a working computer in their hand at all times. So therefore, if you can't Google facts,
Actually, wait.
that's how stupid this country
But
is. We
there's
can
actually
Google facts on a
still-
regular basis.
There's still a large part of the country, which, especially in the middle
of the
America,
country,
where they don't have
Their
access.
cell reception is
Yeah,
shit,
they
and
don't have
rely-
any access.
And
No,
they rely
really.
they rely on satellite.
Yeah,
internet.
it's really a thing where they don't have access to the
I've
internet.
used satellite internet. It has driven me crazy.
And you also
That's
have
a
to
thing for
remember a
real?
lot of.
Satellite internet.
That's
yeah.
a thing. That's a
Yes.
thing.
What is that?
You also have to
You get
remember though.
like basically they get their internet from a satellite
Yeah.
on the ground that communicates with a satellite up above that disperses the
There's
internet.
a lot of places.
And so,
That's why they
like
talk about
satellites, they're in orbit. So when that shit is in orbit in certain regions, it's harder for it to communicate with the base. Therefore, your internet slows down dramatically.
Did not know that.
That's why you
It's
see
shit.
a lot more communities, especially in those areas where they're doing their own especially this was big during when early net neutrality was up for discussion. There are a lot of communities that are becoming their own internet service providers because they have no regular access. Comcast, Cox, whoever is not there.
So do they still get the same internet though? Same stuff?
I mean, maybe, but you have to think about it. If it's coming at,
It's like a
If it's-
North Korea internet.
it's like dial-up.
Yeah, I'm about to
Think
say
old school
dial-up.
dial-up, where you had to
Oh
wait
my
30
God.
minutes for one
That's
page.
the carrier pigeon of internet.
Right.
God, good one.
Right.
We're flipping pigeons out here.
I mean,
that's like
imagine-
Pony Express.
So at some point, also you have to remember that these are people who aren't gonna go looking for the truth. They are the people who
And
accept
that's why-
it
and that's
at
why-
face
and
Like,
value.
if my internet was that slow, I wouldn't bother looking for the truth.
Also,
either.
and I this is
Yeah,
not
I'm gonna lose patience. I just have to be racist.
right, and not to step on anybody's feelings, but
Trump.
these are also people who because of where they are and the hardships they've gone through and whatever else story they tell themselves, they are deeply religious. So if that church, whoever's in charge of that church, is out there telling them brown people are out here stealing your jobs, but this one white man, this rich millionaire, they will
following a cult to make sure they feel better.
They
That's
will.
insane.
They will follow that. It's
It is like Far Cry 5.
yeah, and I'm not saying that you can't be religious, but you also have to understand that these are stories that people have passed down to you, and everything. You got to investigate. Especially when somebody's telling you that this person sitting next to you is taking your job, and you know deep in your heart damn well that it's not that he's taking your job.
Should we let those people vote?
Yes. No.
Should they be allowed to vote? If you vote for Trump, should you be allowed to vote?
Why? Because their internet is slow? They
No, because they're clinically fucking morons.
I think,
But they're clinically fucking morons because their internet
Because look,
But they're clinically adult morons.
Because here's the thing: as long as you live, right? Say you voted for Trump because he's gonna take away, fix Roe v. Wade, or
because my
whatever.
TV said that he's gonna do
but whatever.
X, Y, and Z.
But here's the thing: as long as you live, you voted the same way as the Klan.
you did.
For
And
the
you
rest
will
of your
have to-
life,
and
you
will have to live
voted the
with that.
same way as the Klan.
And you will
So
have to live with that.
So right now, your vote means nothing.
No, it mean. Here's the thing.
You should be allowed to vote.
On a personal level, as somebody who,
I mean, it's not about the morality of
yeah,
it.
no, I'm gonna.
I think you should be allowed to vote.
No, we had that, and it worked against us.
No,
They used it to work against us every
I
turn.
don't mean like that. I mean like who we voted in the past for. If you voted for Trump, you're done.
Well, because then you could argue. No,
You're
but
null and
people
void.
change.
Go in the corner.
Well, but no, because then you've got
Go in the
people.
timeout voting corner.
No, but you've got people who change.
You
You've
skip
got-
an election this year.
You've got you've got Elizabeth Warren, who said in her early years, because of the way she was raised, she was a Republican, and then she started looking at it. She got her degree. She started looking at things. Yes, she got a degree.
And I
she
get
goes,
that
shit,
point.
No, I'm a Democrat because it's some bullshit.
No, and I get that point.
So people
but
can
what I'm
change.
saying is
that because she moved somewhere with faster internet?
could be. But, and I get your point, but what I'm saying is this. If you actually looked at Donald Trump and said, man, this guy's making a great president, you deserve to be thumped in the head with a hammer.
I'll give you something to
Look,
him.
look.
Because
I'll come to your
come
defense.
on.
Maybe we need to look at someone's overall history, not just the president.
Exactly.
I think
because,
this
I mean,
too. I also
seriously.
think voting in this country does not need to be voluntary. I think I firmly
it should be mandatory.
Yeah, I believe what Australia does, where you have to show up and vote. You don't show up and vote, guess what, motherfucker? You getting a fine.
Yes, I think
And
you
it,
should
and
vote.
it grows every year
to
you
be
don't show
honest,
up.
I feel like
shouldn't-
certain people who've had those rights taken away from them should be allowed to vote.
Absolutely.
Right, no,
If
I'm
you
not,
take
I
it against
agree with that
society,
too.
yeah, I should be able to
I agree
vote.
with that
Like,
too.
if I'm in jail for
But-
20 years and then I get out,
Because-
guess what?
Yes.
I'm affected now, so
Yes.
let me vote.
Yes.
Because I tell you right now, if people voted the way, like a mandatory vote of people who got their rights taken back could vote, this country was leaning left at all times.
Yeah.
We lean left all the time. Social issues, on financial issues.
I mean,
we lean left.
arguably-
We're socially leftist and
Arguably-
fiscally conservative.
So we're fucking libertarians. Please don't let me be a libertarian.
We're there. We don't want to spend a lot of money on dumb shit, but
No,
we want
no.
money to go to programs.
Additionally, no.
But we want to go to
But
space.
but there's arguments about what that dumb shit is.
Space.
So
Space.
the dumb shit is not spending your money on education and roads and healthcare. The dumb shit is, damn, we're discharging immigrants from our army left, right, and center, but let's add another $675 billion to our defense budget.
Which
For
is-
what?
Asinine.
For who? You ain't got nobody
Space
there.
Force.
Nobody's there.
You all are
you're-
not seeing the bigger picture.
Space
If we
Force?
don't put that money there, we'll never get to space.
Fuck the Space Force. I'm gonna tell you that personally, some part of me feels like we are the aliens, and we're the good place. We are in the bad place. We are being punished.
Are we the second
We're
place?
not gonna find anything out there.
We're not the
We're
second-
already here.
Really? Were you just giving a synopsis of The Good Place?
Yeah.
She was
That's literally what she
giving
just.
the
I've seen
synopsis
the
of The
show.
Good
I
Place.
know what it is.
Some people might not. So you gotta let people
I
know.
literally just told people what The Good Place
But no,
was about.
I think voting should not be mandatory. It should be compulsory. You have to show up to vote. I don't care who you vote for. But no write-ins, none of that bullshit write-in Coco the Gorilla, because that is a waste.
And if you vote like that, you should
fine.
thump to the head with a
You
hammer.
get a fine. I'm sorry.
Thump to the head with a hammer.
I'm sorry. I don't understand why. And I say this because as somebody who,
You get thumped in the head with a hammer.
everybody in this room is a person
Can
of
they
color.
track that if I vote for Harambe? Like they can track
Yes,
Yes, because it's registered under your
name's
name. You sign your name. You
should-
check
you know what
in.
should happen when you vote like that? Someone should knock on your door at 5 o'clock in the morning and slap the shit out of you. not even a hey, Mr. So-and-so, you open the door, you get slapped. Just open hand, just pow, and walk away. And you're like, and look back, you know what you did, and walk away. you know what you did.
No, but
you know what you did.
What if someone really didn't know that?
No, and I say this
What
because
did I do? Then they're confused the rest of their life.
well, because
Even better.
every time I see some young person and mainly person of color who goes, I don't vote because my vote doesn't count, I sit there and think
You
to
should
myself,
slap them
no,
too.
I sit there and think to myself, whether it was directly a relative of yours or not, somebody who looks like you got hung
Exactly.
and died for this.
Exactly.
And you're dishonoring, whether you wanted it or not. You're dishonoring.
I voted.
I voted. I always vote.
I always vote.
I vote in the stupid elections that nobody
Absolutely.
says matter because it matters that
Who
our
the hell's
sheriff.
comptroller?
No,
I don't know. I voted for
it
him.
matters that our sheriff in this county is black because I can tell you, having lived here almost 10 years, things have changed. No, but it happens, and that's fine. At least you went, and it matters though. Those little things matter because those are the people who that racist sheriff who's been sheriff for 30 years. All of a sudden, he's running for Senate. All of a sudden, he's running for Congress. All of a sudden, he's the president.
It was a lot of white supremacists running for.
Oh, did y'all not see
my
the
God,
sign?
yes,
Wait,
yeah.
did y'all not see the sign of the man in this area? His sign was super fucking small because he knew that he was going to get his ass fucked
Did
up.
it say make my neighborhood white again?
It was a white
They can
man.
try.
It was a white man who in this area he had a tiny. It maybe was an 8x5 notebook size paper like sign that I was seeing in the grass, tucked behind everybody else's signs, where it was like, I support Trump. Trump's policies make us great, or some foolishness like that. And I was like, you know that this is a fuck up you asking for. That's why your sign is so little and hidden, because you know better.
But that's how dumb we've gotten. We are so smart in this country at the same time, and we're so dumb in this country at the same time. Because poor people don't understand. Rich white people do not
care about you.
They don't give a shit
You
about
are
you.
nothing to them but cannon fodder.
That's why you're still poor. They don't care. Not at all.
If you want to know what your future looks like, go see the first Purge out in theaters right now.
I mean, seriously,
That's why the Purge made sense.
Yes, and no, but
Like I said, I just saw
there's
the
a whole
first Purge
no.
on,
Have you not
on,
seen
like,
the thing
Tuesday.
online? There's a whole somebody broke it down online where they talk about how, and I've never seen them because it scares the shit out of me. To be fair, I'm not that fast.
It should.
I'm not that
the
fast.
First one, it was 100% clear
But-
they were going after the poor
Yes,
black people.
and they talk about how whoever makes the Purge movies, whether intentionally or not, but most likely intentionally, they're clearly showing how this country's getting to the point where we're going to start hunting brown people for sport. And we're going to call it something like the Purge, and we're going to act like we're doing God's work or the right thing.
Oh, no,
but,
you hunting brown people, we kind of fast.
Can you outrun a car?
I don't know.
Can you outrun a car? Can you outrun a motorcycle?
Where we
someone who
hunting?
just watched three
Where
of
we
the
hunting?
first
Okay,
three
first
of the
of all,
four Purge
if we're gonna
movies,
dive into this,
I'm not outrunning a machine gun.
Hold on,
that's
hold on,
attached
hold
to
on.
the
You outrun
back
the
of a
bazooka?
semi-truck.
if we're getting into this, where are they hunting us at? Is it middle America or is it in the cities?
No, it's
No,
in the
cities.
cities. Where we are.
So,
Nah, they ain't getting
this isn't really a spoiler because this
Nah,
has happened
they ain't getting
in
this. They ain't getting
the
this.
second Purge
Nah.
movie as well. These dudes literally full tactical gear are running into apartment complexes
Oh, yeah.
and just wiping out floors.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think that'll happen.
Yes, because all they have to do is knock your door in.
I think brown and black people are been through enough shit.
Spoiler alert for anyone who wants to go see the
Here's
first
the other
Purge.
thing.
We'd rise
tune
up.
away now.
No,
We'd rise
but
up.
we need to.
We'd rise up.
We need to.
Dog,
It
they were
doesn't need to be a
hiring
we.
mercenaries to kill us in that
Right.
movie.
It needs to be a we are. And when I say brown people, I mean brown people of all shades, because don't think just because you're from India, you're safe.
Or if you're Asian, you're safe.
Or you're Asian. You are
Well,
next.
the whole premise of the Purge one, it wasn't necessarily for people of color. It was for
The degenerates.
Hey.
The lower of the low.
Listen,
the
those
low
10
population.
poor white people, they're coming for you too.
Yeah.
That's why I said that.
Poor
'cause
people.
It was
They-
poor
they-
white
they-
people that got
because,
killed.
and that's the thing that would irritate the shit out of me, because poor white people don't understand it.
Well-
if you actually voted your interest, this
Your interest
country
would be liberal.
your interest
You would be
liberal,
blue.
and this country would be a lot better.
And here's the other thing.
Poor white
I
people
think.
don't understand that white privilege does exist, but if your money ain't
But no,
looking
but
right,
they still
it only
they
goes
still
so
benefit
far.
from it.
Yeah, you can go so far.
And don't get me wrong, they still benefit from white privilege.
Oh, yeah.
Every turn they will still benefit from white privilege. But if you're
don't
true,
know.
no,
Well,
a lot of them
I'll
do.
say compared
Because
to,
let's talk
compared
about hold
to
on,
other
hold on.
minorities,
Let's
yes,
talk about
they're always going to
here,
benefit.
prime example.
But we're not
The
involved.
opioid
The
epidemic
money.
in this area, Calvert County has a huge heroin problem.
Yeah, they do.
The large amount of people in Calvert County are poor white people. St. Mary's County has a huge heroin problem. A large amount of them are poor white
to save
people.
us when we was on crack.
Right. All of a sudden,
Well, no
it's
shit.
an opioid crisis because it's white people.
What makes it so
So-
great are all the black people. It's not just a white crisis. It's an everyone crisis. Like, I'm black and like, look, we get it, but let's be honest. When
But
black
they didn't
people,
care when it was
white
us.
people- I would say
When it was
white
us,
people
it was we did
smoking-
it to ourselves.
Like when white people was smoking crack, they was like, oh, they poor.
But
Right.
but again,
Black people
just
doing
be-
it, just let them kill each other.
Right, I didn't
just
see
be-
commercials for Narcan for black people.
But just because they say it's a crisis and it's an epidemic, don't mean they doing shit about it.
Well, of course not.
People are still dying.
I mean, the
people
flu,
are still
the
ODing.
flu is an
That was the,
epidemic, and yet you
who
can
was it?
choose to not
Yeah.
get a vaccine.
It was the
People
one.
are still dying from this shit.
It was one politician from one state, I don't remember. She caught a lot of flack because she was like, no, if you guys get rushed and someone's ODing and it's from opioids, you get one time, like EMTs, you get one time to save their life or one time to use whatever it is.
That's
you-
fucked
Narcan.
up.
Yeah, one time to use it.
But see, and again, if we treated drug addiction like an actual disease, not like, oh, I'm having a good time, we would save a lot more lives. Because if you ever know somebody's on drugs, they can't help that. Once you take their first couple hits, that's
I mean,
it.
For
You're-
every,
got you.
it's more like the argument that for every one person who actually is just in it for fun, because there are those people who, you can look at musicians where, like, I can point out that maybe some of them are, oh, I was rich and wealthy and now I'm a musician, but I got high a lot and it was fun because I did it to be rebellious.
It helped me play better.
For every one of them
Ooh.
that there was using drugs.
Carlos Santana.
Right. There's also people who
That
truly
peyote?
have an addiction.
I look at it this way. Anything as a straight man that will make me tell another straight man, hey, you give me a hit, I'll take care of you. I take care of you and suck your dick.
No, that's just desperation. People would do that for anything.
But no, not
These cheeseburgers.
Well,
what I'm saying.
I don't know about anything.
But what I'm saying like this, that is like fentanyl. If you telling me that fentanyl is dropping people like flies, and you're gonna go back, oh, where the hot shit at? I'm gonna get some fentanyl. I'm gonna go back to the spot in Baltimore and go get that where they killed 4 people. That's the hot shit. Nah, man, that's not an addiction, or that's a disease. That you are
it's
sucked
both.
in. That's it.
They're both. Addiction and disease is a disease, and they go hand in
say
hand.
hand in hand. But I mean, you have to treat it as a disease, not as like, oh,
But the problem
fuck 'em, who
is
cares
that
what
you
poor?
also have the mentality where people think that and it's big in this whole wellness movement that we've got going on in this country right now, where, oh, I'm no longer doing it, so now I'm better. No. If you're an addict, you are
Addict for life.
consistently fighting that every day.
You're an addict for
You
life.
don't get to turn it off.
Nope.
You don't get to say you're cured. There's no cure. It's much like people with mental health issues. If you're depressed and you've had suicidal ideation, you're gonna fight that for the rest of your life.
Because it's in your system. It's
It's
the way
genetic.
the way your brain
it's
works
a
now.
DNA thing. It's the way your body. It's like how athletes say, even years later, they still have certain muscle memory things because they trained their body to know certain things. You've trained your body to have this response to this drug, or you've trained your body to have this response to the lack of this drug. If it's a mental health issue, it's a hard thing and it sucks, but you've got to recognize it's a lifelong fight.
And
And
again,
we treat it as like it should be a one and done. Man, I got you this one shot. I put you in rehab this one time.
and
You'll
that's
never
why-
slip up again.
And that's right. And the gray area leads me into Luke Cage, because they did a great job of showing how dealing drugs, drug addicts, the drug game is a gray area.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Because which was a very beautifully done Marvel series, they actually show that, hey, I can't stop it. I can only contain it.
well, it's also like when you talk
Yeah.
about the MS-13 and how everybody wants to talk about these children in gangs. Explain to me why are you so you're concerned about the end result. Talk to me about what you're doing to stop these children from getting to that point where they're vulnerable enough for some grown-ass man or even slightly older than them teenager to lure them away.
Hey, fact check. We are the ones that messed up Guatemala. Oh,
We are.
Central America.
We are.
We're the ones that imposed that.
We decided we wanted to
propped
roll
up,
up on
yeah,
in there.
propped up dictators, propped up this puppet regime, propped up this government, and then you know what? Said, you know what? We're done, and walked away.
It's a vacuum. We did it after 9/11.
That's
you
what-
cannot go in there and destroy a nation on whatever grounds you do it on, human rights or not. And I'm not saying that sometimes the human rights aren't worth it, because I firmly believe they are. But you have to stay if you're not willing to be in there and rebuild what
Basically,
you've destroyed.
don't break the house and then not offer the.
Yeah, you can. Don't be a guest. Don't be a rude house guest. Don't come in. Don't fuck up my entire kitchen. Cook yourself a big old ass breakfast. Eat real well. Sleep
Save
for
me
3
a
hours,
plate.
and then roll out and not save me a plate. Not wash your fucking
Save
dishes.
me a plate.
Like The Rock said in the rundown, you don't just go up in someone's house and put your face all up in another man's refrigerator.
Right. I mean, you have to be able
Direct
to
quote?
do the work, and unfortunately, our governments, because it's not new, and it's not just the U.S. too, because
The New World Order's out there, y'all.
I work for a foreign government, and they do
why we're
similar
the third world.
The
things.
New World Order's out there.
I mean, you don't go into other countries and destroy them and then pull yourself back out and say, well, I'll leave you to clean up the mess. You're not helping anybody. All you're doing is leaving a vacuum for somebody with enough sway and enough power and enough, wherewithal and skill to come in, Fidel Castro style, and build up a new regime. Or North Korea.
This is why we love comic books. This is why we love Marvel shows, because you know what? It gives us a what if.
I mean,
the
some
what
of
if
it.
is, why can't somebody build an Iron Man suit? There's billionaires out there.
They have one.
Steve Jobs.
He's dead.
Okay, family has money.
Man, that was the first name you.
He's dead.
The name of
Okay,
the dead guy?
Wachowski. Wachowski.
His family, Wiskowski. And
You can't say Bill Gates.
I was thinking him, but Steve Jobs came to my mind, but I just said his name. But
Bill Gates is on that humanitarian bullshit right now. He doing his good work. I'm gonna leave him alone.
But again, okay, and humanitarian good work.
Although I will argue
I
that
call
he could do a
bullshit.
lot more good work. Just like I will.
Tony Stark was a
No.
I call bullshit.
He didn't really kill
Well, I call bullshit just because when I look at how much money, I'm going to use my favorite, Jeff Bezos has made, you literally could end homelessness and poverty.
And that's why I call
And
bullshit.
instead, you sit there and hoard it like a goddamn greedy little goblin in Harry Potter. Bitch, your bank account is not the what is the bank in Harry Potter? Gringotts. You are not the dragon underneath Gringotts Bank. Share your wealth because
That's
I know you
reference.
didn't build it alone.
But
I know you didn't build it alone.
and that's the reason why I call bullshit, because
I own that movie and I still didn't catch that
And
reference.
that- and-
Dragons? What was that?
dragons.
What? Smog?
Gringotts.
And that's why I call bullshit, because Jeff Bezos, friggin' Bill Gates, athletes, whoever. You could go to Baltimore right now and buy up the whole city block for a cool 50 mil and redo the whole area.
Well, not even
but
that.
you don't
If-
do. But you
if your
don't give
concern
a shit.
if your concern is that if I just give in this whole bullshit welfare argument, I just give and they won't ever learn themselves to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, which is such bullshit, because there are very few people in this world in history who have literally pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. At some point, every single one of them had help.
How can I pull myself my bootstraps if I don't have boots?
That's true. I mean, the only one I can think of off the top of my head in recent memory is Andrew Carnegie, and historically, he was super poor. He got jobs, he saved his money, he worked his way up. Once he became a super billionaire, though, they're still getting money from his estate and his trust.
But he funded
And
World War One.
He did some shit though. So nobody's perfect. I'm not saying anybody's perfect. I'm saying that you talking about bootstraps. He might be the only one I can think of in recent history, in the last 200 years, who might have bootstrapped himself.
But again, this
But
whole
if your
argument,
concern is that these people won't learn to help themselves, okay, so here's what you do: you buy up that city block. So these homes are bought; they're not empty. You then enroll these people in a course to fix up these homes.
But again, they won't do that.
Give them a
They won't
skill.
do that. They won't do that because
They're going to say it costs more money.
because
Of course.
they're not going
Your
to do that
But
because
if I can-
human beings are not built that way.
But I'm saying, here's my issue. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying if that's your argument, here's a way to dismantle it, and here's a way to make it work. If you give these people a skill, it's a lot more beneficial than just saying, I'm just going to throw this card at you, this $500 at you today, and leave you alone for the next 6 months, and still wonder why you're on the street and you ain't got nowhere. What? You're not doing anything long term to help me.
Offer that to some people, and they might just be like, just give me the $500 and go.
I mean, they might, and there will be those people, and guess what? That is what it is, because that's how human beings are. Some people will rather take the immediate fix than the long-term solution. But if you can give a long-term solution, it's a lot. In the end, there will be more people who will see the value in that.
And this again, that's why I feel Thanos and this whole like argument of snap your fingers and wiping over, starting over again. Because we might need to start over again.
Man.
We might need to start over again with a group of people. Start
Thanos
over
reads
again.
a little eugenicist to me, so I'm not here for that.
Hey,
You get to decide who's worthy.
We might need to start over again. Hey, you know what? Yeah.
No, that's just the whole thing. Technically, he didn't.
It was random. It was
He
random
didn't
as hell.
personally decide anything.
It was random.
All he did was he snapped his fingers.
But the thing
and that shit just happened.
That's
randomly.
why that's why it was so brilliant, because you know why? If you see half the planet disintegrate and be gone, you are thinking a little bit more about racism, about
wait,
poor
how do
people,
you-
You're
about
over here like, oh
How-
shit, I
wait.
need to be on my.
exactly. I need to figure this shit out. I need to be
If you're
hold
religious,
on, man.
Wait.
If you're religious, you like, oh shit, that's the rapture right there.
I need to
How
figure
do you
this shit out a little
control?
bit.
Wait, how do you control though that the half the planet that disappears is the half that's not?
I think
benefiting
the
you.
fear of death is a big motivator.
Is it? Because there's a lot. We living in fear of death every day in the past couple years.
The people that are at top
And
do not fear death. They don't fear death.
Oh no.
But if
The one at the top? Oh, hell no.
if you're at the top
wait,
and you
but
see
the
half of you
idea-
gone, you fear death.
But then you'd have again you'd have to at least be certain that at least a portion, a fairly large portion too, to strike fear in the rich, of them are the ones who get disappeared.
I think it's
in a
gonna
magic
happen.
snap.
I think if something like that happened, there would be enough natural selection that we would lose a lot of rich people.
Natural
You'd have
selection
to.
doesn't work that way though.
Well, not natural selection, but I think that we would
We
enough.
had an infinity gauntlet and we snapped our fingers.
I think what
a
happened.
lot of
I think what happened.
so
I think
you
a lot of
get on
people-
that and you build that and let me know how that works.
I'm working on it.
I'll go ahead
I got
and
the soul
do
stone.
the
I gotta
social
go to
report.
space. I gotta go to space.
And
first.
that's
And
you know
then
what?
we're not
Space
gonna have a
Force
space
Force.
You
force.
see how it all works? It's building blocks.
Fuck
we
the
gotta
Space
start
Force.
somewhere.
And the
So we
Space
gotta
Force
get
will
to
take us
space.
there.
All right, space goes coast to coast. When y'all end up with that giant, what is that, praying mantis bullshit sitting next to you, don't say nobody
That's
tried
funny.
to warn you.
I understand. Maybe it's pretty funny.
Mhm.
I
He
just
also
want to
tried
find
to
my
eat
man
people.
Borat.
Borat.
What's his name?
Borat.
That was the mantis, right?
No,
No.
mantis was green. He was a literal mantis.
No, that was the mantis name.
No, that was the other one who had like the red face.
With the mask.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a mask or his actual face. I always thought it was
Man
the
Ray?
actual face. Oh
That
man,
name sound familiar.
SpongeBob.
man. So wow, we're an hour and 5 in. So we basically spent a half an hour on nerdy shit, a half an hour on
It all ties together.
I mean, it really does. I mean,
Some of it. I mean, I don't know how you're gonna tie. Wait,
I mean,
I don't know how you're gonna tie in
mythology-
Idris Elba into
Hey,
it, but we can
hey,
figure out a
serious.
way.
I can tell you.
You see how me and you really got
I can tie
quiet?
Idris into a lot of
You know
that.
half
what?
an hour.
You know what?
Chilled out a
You know
little
why I can
bit,
tie Idris Elba into this? You know why? Because he is the best black superhero that's never been a superhero.
He really is.
Because he should be Green Lantern. John Stewart.
Fuck that.
He should.
He needs to be better than the Green Lantern. We
That'd be
all
awesome
put
Green
Idris
Lantern.
up on the higher on the list of superheroes.
I feel like people shit on the Green Lantern and forget just
I
how
don't know
strong-
why.
The Green Lantern.
I know how
He's a-
strong he
he's a
is. I know what he does.
galactic cop.
It's great. I just don't like his ugly green suit. I feel like Idris deserves
They all
better.
don't wear the same
also,
suit, though.
There's Red
also,
Lantern, there's a
Idris
Yellow
needs. I'm
Lantern.
sorry. Idris also needs to be. If we're making Idris a superhero,
about it.
I want him to be one that's gonna fuck everybody's
To
ideas
be a
up.
Green Lantern, all you really need is willpower. What if you have the strongest willpower in the galaxy, you could fuck up everything. They said that. They said the potential of a Green Lantern is unlimited, solely based
this
on the
sounds super
willpower.
crooked.
If I find myself with the ring and I have an unlimited amount of willpower, I'm going straight after Superman. Like, hey, you want to fight? Come on, let's go. Let's see.
See, that's the great thing about Superman. Even a Green Lantern can't beat him.
Green Lantern can beat him. Because they said
Wonder Woman can, and she has.
No.
She has.
That's-
No, she has.
That's
She's a
comic
god.
book bullshit. That's
I'm just saying.
He's beat
That's
he's beat
Superman.
the new gods, and I've seen the new gods beat the old gods.
That's Superman.
So they're
Ipso facto,
No.
Superman wins.
transitive property.
That's not how it
What
works.
was? Did anybody else see that? It was a video online by this YouTuber named Dorkly, and it was like Superman and the Flash were about to race, and like Superman was like, oh yeah, I could run like this, and then Flash started hyping himself up, and And Superman got a little worried, so before they raced, he shot him in the knee. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you see that? I'm faster than a bullet. Since Flash here is not faster than a bullet, I must be the fastest man alive. Transitive property.
That's a good point, though. He didn't pass that bullet. But here's the thing.
Shit was so funny.
Superman's power has never been really tested. He holds back. That's how great a power he has. He holds back his power.
No, I mean he
always-
fought.
I always
Doomsday.
heard
I'm
that,
pretty sure he went all in fighting Doomsday.
I've always heard that what you call it is actually could be close to Superman.
Who?
It's just for him it's more psychological.
Who?
Martian Manhunter. They say a lot of Martian Manhunters.
Man, you set someone on
A
fire.
lot of
he's
Martian,
gone.
yeah, and that's it. But they say if you get rid of that, because that's just a psychological fear. They say if you
It
got rid
fucks him up like that, like
Yeah,
the
it's a-
fear of fire.
yeah, fire. Yeah, it's not the
You ain't
actual
got
fire.
nothing to do
It's
with that
psychological.
lawnmower falling onto you didn't fuck you
I mean,
up psychologically.
I bet you don't mow lawns no more, do you?
Not when the grass is wet.
Exactly.
I don't run when I see one. You know what I mean? I don't close my window when I hear it.
But do you mow a lawn uphill in the morning anymore? No.
He's like, when I hear the lawnmower, I don't lose all my strength.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
'Cause I-
It'd be funny if you did, though. I can pull a lawnmower behind you to get the shit
I
out
am
you.
just gonna sidebar you that while Green Lantern's force of will is strong, it has been noted at least twice that Wonder Woman can break any lantern construct she wants with her own force of will because it's equally strong. Additionally, look, I'm just pulling it through.
I mean, she can do that.
Additionally,
but at the same time, we've never met
Wonder
a Woman
Woman
that's had that
one
strong
time
will.
fully,
Exactly.
totally, unequivocally kicked Superman's ass. And both of them were at their normal power level, so there was no holding back, they said. But Wonder Woman won.
Superman's a gentleman. He's not going to beat up a woman.
It's not about you think
Is
she
Wonder Woman or
cares?
not?
Everybody else does. Why does it matter?
Because Superman's
That's
the
one thing.
ultimate gentleman.
Because he's the Boy Scout.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Lots of
Yeah.
comics though have
He
made it
doesn't fight a lot
clear.
of
He doesn't fight a lot of women.
Well, that's their fault. But lots of comics have made it clear that in that case, they don't really care. They'll hit you no matter your gender, your age. Because if that's the case, I'm certain there's been times when Superman's fought villains that were slightly younger, and he ain't hold back then. I mean, I've seen Batman kick the ass of people who were slightly younger, and he ain't hold back then.
But Batman is dark. That's why he doesn't give a shit.
Slightly younger when you're like in your late 20s, early 30s.
That's why dark. That's why Batman needs to be dark because
Batman-
he kicks kids' ass.
Batman-
That's why he's dark.
Batman
okay?
holds
So
back.
I can hit little Timmy.
Batman holds back.
No, he's
He
not.
ain't holding back much. He
no,
ain't got,
no, what is he
it's not
holding
like
back?
he's got super strength.
His strength. No, as for
Batman's
human.
not hit.
He doesn't kill people. That's
No.
as far as he goes back to kill people.
And look it
I
up.
thought
For
he
a
did.
human,
I
Batman
thought he
is
has
like
killed
one of
one.
the
He has
strongest people
killed.
on the planet. For a human, strength-wise, he's one of the strongest people on the planet. Batman holds back.
And yet, Talia
he'll-
still
like,
had
he'll-
that down,
he'll-
huh?
She drugged him.
I'm about to say,
Date rape trick.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you.
So he got date
I'm
rape.
just fucking with you. He definitely got date
strong.
rape.
That doesn't mean you can't.
He
fuck
definitely
with
got
his
date rape.
chemicals.
No, he definitely got date
So
rape.
she out here date raping Batman.
That's what happened. He got date raped.
Yes,
weak.
that
She
is.
wanted the kid.
So he's weak.
She wanted the kid.
Like who better else to have the kid than the person that my father deemed great enough to take over the League of Assassins?
But how do you get date raped? You're Batman.
She drugged him.
They already had a type of
Don't you
attraction
test all the
for them.
drugs?
No.
No, I mean, because they've got a thing.
They already had a type of attraction.
I
for
got
each
that,
other,
but
so.
I mean, all right.
you know.
But she's still Ra's al Ghul's daughter, so.
Oh, damn.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I need friends in higher places. Jesus Lord.
Wow, what's going on?
Tyler Perry gave Tiffany Haddish a Tesla.
Hell yeah, he did with suicide doors.
That
You gave her a Model X, or did you give her a Tesla sports car?
I'm sorry. Does it matter what kind of
It
free car
wasn't a
you
sports
get?
car. It was like it looked like
Wait. Does it matter what kind of free car you get?
Yeah.
You ain't pay the taxes on it.
Yeah.
You ain't pay for it.
If you give me a 75 Chevette, I don't want it.
I about to say, you give me a Model X Tesla, I'm trading it in, and I'm getting a Model S.
I mean, you have that freedom, but it's fucking free. So I'm gonna smile in your face and say, "Thank you, Jesus. This is great."
I'll smile in your face and I thank you, but in the back of my head, I'm like, I ain't keeping this shit. This shit ugly.
No, you gotta at least do
Like,
a bare minimum.
only time I'm keeping
How you gonna throw her the free
Right.
Tesla? That's some crazy shit. I don't want this. What,
Right.
Green? No. It's
You
not
gotta
my
do
color.
wait.
No.
the Model X.
You gotta do a bare minimum.
You're
and
Tyler
keep-
Perry. This is the best you can give me.
Really? That's all you got? Really? This is it?
I would have been like, give me the Model S. It's cheaper and it looks better.
I mean, again, it's free. I'm gonna say.
It's a free Tesla. I don't think I'm giving that away.
Right, I'm pretty much gonna say thank
Nah,
you.
I'm going straight to the Tesla shop and like, give me this Model S.
Man.
Shit, that car has
Can't
already
give you shit.
Right.
That's a man that knows what he wants right there.
That's a man that you
Don't give him
shit.
nothing.
Right.
Don't
That's
give
a
him
man you don't
nothing.
give shit. You just give him
I
a
just
gift
don't-
card and be like, buy your own shit.
Exactly. He's a gift card receiver. There you go.
Like, look at this.
It's free.
It's free, and therefore I'm going to take whatever value I get for it and put it toward what I want.
I'm pushing that Model S all day and see Tyler Perry bought it for me.
That's what I said. A Model, like
I'm pushing
I
it.
want a Model
Tyler
X.
got this
Model
for me.
X,
I'm his
not
friend.
doing.
Yeah, Tyler Perry's a billionaire. Which an awesome. He needs somebody to play him in a movie.
Wait, I thought we established.
Idris Elba.
I thought we established last episode he wasn't a billionaire. He
No.
was just close.
Yeah, he's close.
I'm sorry. What? He's off by what? How much? 100 million is off? What?
Do
2?
I gotta Google this again?
Some million. He's not quite there. He's
I
close.
said Terry Perry.
After you get past 100 million, everything else is a wash. I'm sorry.
I mean, technically, after you get past 5 million, you can live off the interest
600 million.
alone. So
Huh?
600 mil.
Yeah.
so he's over
that's still
half.
quite
Oh
a-
no! You don't have $400 million in your pocket. Whatever.
That's $500 million.
I mean, that's half a billion, but that's still not a billion.
Yeah, you're not a billionaire.
Give him 2 more movies. He'll be good.
Oh man, he
Medea movies?
he
Yeah.
can't buy Ireland shit.
I mean, he can. He just can't buy a big island. He's still got an island.
You can buy Ireland for $1.5 million.
Right.
Man. So.
Oh,
Anyway,
what's the name? Bought it for like some thousands. What's my man? Virgin Mobile.
The Virgin Mobile dude.
Richard Branson.
Richard Branson. He got his island for like thousands.
When did he buy it?
Fuck out
Years
there.
ago. That was
When did he buy it?
Years,
Was it more than? Were you even alive when he bought
That was
this island? Because then it
that's
doesn't
before
count.
we had Virgin Galactic.
Yeah, I mean it was a while ago, but still, the dude priced it at like a whole
Right,
rack of
owns the island.
millions.
That's
Did you know Richard Branson actually produced the Sex Pistols?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
Crazy. Crazy thought.
So we're gonna do some quick hits real quick. Brown's probably not gonna have an opinion on this one right
Sure,
here.
she
'cause-
will.
Well, no, because she's never
Just counter her out.
She's never seen The Raid.
Oh,
So yeah,
maybe she won't.
Netflix announces a martial arts sci-fi crime drama called Wu Assassins, starring the main dude from The Raid.
Can we get a name?
I don't know how to pronounce it. That's
don't
why
wanna-
I didn't.
I don't want
write
to
it
keep
down.
referring to him as the main dude.
I'm calling the man dude from the rapes. I can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, so I never saw the point of actually trying. I felt like it would be more disrespectful to fuck up his
Aiko
name.
Uwais?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Aiko Uwais.
My question is: this coming English speaking?
I believe so. It should.
I mean, he was in Beyond Skyline, so I'm
Was he
sure
speaking English in the movie? I never
yeah,
seen the movie.
yeah,
I'm sure he knows.
And he's
Netflix
gonna,
offers captions.
and he's gonna be in.
Oh yeah, I watch all the movies on captures.
I'm about to say he's about to be in a movie that comes out next month with Mark Wahlberg called Mile 22 or something. So.
Which is literally, if you saw the trailer like I did, it's literally the same. All 3 movies. It was Mission Impossible Fallout, that Mark Wahlberg movie, and then the Rocks movie. And I swear to God, I was literally watching like the same story, time
trying
and
to
time
figure out
again.
how-
They're running out of ideas for action.
Yes,
movies.
it was,
They're
and it was
not-
the same, almost the
they're
same
not-
kind of
they're not-
man.
they're not giving me
I'm
much.
so confused. Fallout is the same as all Mission Impossible movies where he starts off trying to do something good and they frame him and he has to fight his
Yes.
That's why I don't understand.
Skyscraper is the basic rock movie where,
Bruce Willis.
where he has to.
He's freaking.
Yeah.
He's.
Oh,
he's
just like
what's his name?
Just like the Equalizer 2, which I'm not against Denzel. I love him. I love him. But I swear to God, they really did that Bruce Willis movie that came out a few months ago, where he was the doctor whose wife got shot, and now he's going around doing vigilante. I was
Death
like,
Wish.
the
Death
hell
Wish.
is this the
Death-
same
Death
damn
Wish.
thing?
No, Equalizer different. Equalizer different.
It all looks the same lately.
No, Equalizer.
Because in
No.
Death Wish, this was an ordinary man who's going ahead.
This is
and
Denzel.
doing that shit. And the Equalizer.
Denzel's just never
He doesn't do a
ordinary.
bad movie.
And the Equalizer is
You
pretty
don't
much.
do a bad
kinda-
movie?
Denzel's not doing a bad movie.
The Equalizer is pretty much kind of like John Wick, where he tried to be out the business, tried to do some shit, and then because he's a good person, he ends up getting back in the business trying to protect somebody.
Aiko's name is Corny. That's how you say it, right? He was born Corny
I don't
Uwais.
know. He's Indonesian, so who knows?
Yeah, that's what's. But nah,
Indonesia playing a Chinese person. Okay, a Chinese person.
I will definitely watch.
He might be Indo-Chinese, in which
I'll
case
see-
then he actually gets a pass.
I'll see Mile 22 because
It depends on what version of
All it
Indonesian.
is-
I'm personally, I'm looking forward to this because the guy the Raid is probably one of my, it's my favorite fight scene movie of all time.
But can he beat Jet Li though?
now, yes,
Jet Li now?
yes.
That's not fair. He's sick now.
I know. That's all right. I know.
Y'all can't bring that up.
Can he
He's sick
beat
now.
Donnie Yen?
Can he beat Jackie Chan now? But Jackie Chan's a badass.
Oh yeah, he could be Jackie Chan.
Nah, Jackie Chan.
No.
Jackie Chan be drugged up when he be making.
What movie?
movies
What
now.
movie did Jackie Chan just make? It would just
The
be
Foreigner.
Oh, that movie was beautiful.
He too hurt.
Oh, beautiful.
Jackie too hurt. Don't let the movies fool you.
Jackie's like
When he's
100
done-
years
when he's done-
old.
When he's done filming that shit, he's probably drugged up and high. as a
Jackie
kite.
did movies with Bruce Lee. Okay, that's all Jackie Chan is.
He did one
He
movie.
didn't. I was about to say he didn't. This is
Same time
He was in the
I
background.
would say, did
And he got
do a
hit in the
movie?
face with
'Cause he was more of a. He was more of a.
What movie was
stunt
that?
double for him.
That was Enter the Dragon.
There you go. Thank you. I was about to throw
That
something
don't
at
mean
you.
shit. There were plenty of extras in Enter the Dragon. That don't mean nothing.
I want to get hit in the face with Bruce Lee. I say I got done. It's Bruce Lee.
Oh well, that's how he felt after he got hit in the face with nunchucks. He was like, "Oh my God, Bruce Lee just hit me in the face with nunchucks."
That's amazing. But I'm definitely quick hit. I'm excited. Very excited about this.
Yeah, I also heard another actor is you remember Altered Carbon?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Top
So
5
the ver-
on
So
Netflix.
the very first scene, remember when
He's an OG. He's an OG. He's an OG. What the guy's name?
the Yakuza dude or whatnot?
Yeah, he's the original. He's the original.
Not Jaeger. We're not talking about Jaeger.
No.
No, he's a Jaeger.
I said Altered Carbon.
Yeah, no.
The first sleeve that the dude was in at the very beginning.
that's-
of the
that's who he
movie,
was, yeah.
when he was
The guy that fought the Jaeger took him down in the beginning.
and they killed that sleeve.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's supposed to be in it. The guy that played the first sleeve.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to say it like that because I didn't want people to think that I'm talking about the real Kovacs character because that's somebody totally different.
But the Asian Kovacs you're talking about, that's
There were
the-
two.
That
Asian
was his
Kovacs.
original sleeve.
No,
That's
that
the original
wasn't-
sleeve, yeah.
No, that wasn't his original sleeve because that sleeve was dead. That sleeve was killed. And Arthur Carbon, it started off with him and some chick inside of a hotel or something like that.
Yeah, and
Right.
that wasn't the original sleeve.
Yeah, that wasn't his original sleeve.
The
That guy is who's going to be in this show with him.
Okay.
I'm not sure that wasn't his original.
No, I think
wasn't
that's
his
the original sleeve.
Nah, that wasn't his original sleeve. Was I know who his original sleeve was because it was the dude who played like Sing Min on Hawaii 5-0. This is somebody.
But that's what the guy who got killed.
Nah, hold on. I can do this.
Because his sister,
His sister, yeah,
they were
that's
both-
the original-
it's
yeah.
two different
In the
people.
flashback, that's who.
I don't
it
mean to
was.
say all
None
Asians
of
look the
this.
same, but
Nope,
you know.
two different people.
Oh yeah.
Two totally different people. Like
Okay.
What do you think?
'Cause I
Serious? What do you think?
I if he's looking it up, I can't.
I was about to say, you want to try me?
I can't. You know.
I
develop
think
facts.
he was. I think he was
have-
really
I have a very good knack of proof. I just did this last week for you guys. Every time they should do a remake of that. They are doing a remake of that. I've done it like twice already.
Takashi Kovacs. Who was he?
Where's that dude?
Top.
But that was Joel Kinnaman though as Takashi. Like when you say Takashi, they're only gonna show you pictures of Joel Kinnaman. They're not gonna show you anybody else. It's
You gotta be like old first Joel. I mean first
Kovacs.
or First Kovacs. Yeah. Something.
what the fudge is that dude's name? Okay, so this dude right here is the original Kovacs.
Will Young Lee. Yeah.
That's the original. That's not the guy I'm talking about.
Who are you talking about?
The other dude, what is his name? Like Brian, what's it? Assassin. Let me see if I can find it that way. What is this dude's name?
So while we're looking that up, is Mad Dog gonna be in this?
If Mad Dog was in this chain, that'd be so dope. I ain't gonna lie.
He's
I
not.
would
He's
love-
not gonna be in this crime drama.
I mean, I don't think so because I think. Nah, 'cause why would he be? I don't see the point.
Why wouldn't it be?
Byron Mann, that's the other dude. That's the other Kovacs. It was 3 Kovacs in the first season of Altered Carbon.
Mad Dog was in the first raid.
That guy.
They killed Mad Dog. Then he came back in the second raid. As
He
a
was the one.
totally
He
different
was in.
character,
He was the
looking
body
exactly
when
the
they killed
same.
that. When they killed that
him
blonde
again.
hair girl that he was with in the first one.
That was him.
That was him.
I'm gonna sidebar
That was-
you
yeah.
to interrupt and say that this chair is so not the most comfortable chair, and I feel like you duped me.
I mean, my bad.
He did come down and was like, "Hey, I'm going to give you the good chair."
Yes, except now I feel like my back is broken like an old person.
I was trying to give her what I thought was the nicer chair. It's my.
and I
dining room
appreciate
chair.
the effort. Thank you for the effort, but man,
I mean, you want a pillow or a
Nah,
blanket
I'm
or something?
good.
There's a blanket right
I'm
there.
old at this point now, so it's just I'm
All right.
falling apart.
So now that we spent forever for me trying to tell you,
I still don't think he was in it.
Yeah, watch the first.
I'm gonna go watch it again. again.
Because when he first got caught at the beginning of
I could have swore it was
when he first got caught at the beginning of Altered Carbon, when he was with that chick in their hotel room.
It was that guy.
It was that guy.
It wasn't the other
Byron.
one.
Yeah, it was Byron Mann because they destroyed that sleeve,
Right.
and then that's when they put him to sleep.
So okay, the original sleeve.
Because the original sleeve, no one knows where the original sleeve is because he had been gone from it for so long.
Wait, but he wasn't in the flashbacks?
Yeah, the
When he had to go rescue his sister?
That was the original sleeve.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. So
What I'm saying
you're racist,
is-
dude. You're saying all Asians look the same.
Yeah. What I'm saying is,
They don't. They
yeah, they're two
definitely
totally
don't.
different.
Up close, no. From a distance.
All right.
Hey.
All right. So next. Are we excited that Nicolas Cage is going to be voicing Spider-Man Noir in Into the Spider-Verse?
I'm not excited, but
Don't care.
I do like Nicolas Cage. So
I do.
I love Nicolas Cage.
Con Air, baby.
Like he's. I
God-
feel like
God of
Nicolas
War.
Cage. I feel like Nicolas Cage. He's an actor that still overacts just the basic of.
He's
scenes.
had shitty scripts.
But when he does it, it's great.
I'm sorry. Is the one? Wait. The one with the? Are we just saying that the one with the what is it? The straw man and the bees was a
That was
shitty
horrible.
script.
Okay, that was hard.
That was
That was bad.
'Cause
Wicker
that
Man,
was
that was
a
Wicker Man was
that was a
horrible.
lot of things.
That was horrible.
I refuse.
But
to
that was
watch
a remake.
Not the bees.
Yeah, nah, I refuse to watch
That was horrible.
Bees.
Don't do it. Save yourself.
But sometimes he just makes bad movies fun.
But he's had a lot of. You know why he's had so many bad movies? Like Wesley Snipes, some straight to DVD movies. He had a lot of movie taxes, a lot of money in taxes. Had to pay that shit back. He had a lot of shitty ass movies for a long time.
He still owes taxes.
I mean, Nicolas Cage gave us a lot of good stuff. A lot of good
A
stuff.
lot of good stuff.
Name one.
Con Air, Snake Eyes, Family Man, Face Off.
Alcatraz.
The Rock.
The Rock.
The
That
Rock.
one.
Yes.
The Rock was really good. I will say
Where all
that.
I remember is Sean Connery.
Snake Eyes was better
Son
than
of a-
Snake Eyes. Low key was better than a lot of people thought it would be.
The Weatherman.
It could happen to you.
Oh, Rosie Perez.
Oh, I've never actually seen the movie. I just know the
How
title.
dare you? Rosie Perez, Nicolas Cage.
I do that all the time.
They win the lottery.
Yeah,
Split
I-
half and half.
Raising Arizona.
Raising Arizona is actually really good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know
Nicolas
why.
Cage gave us a lot of
I
good.
don't know why in talking Nicolas Cage, Woody Harrelson popped in my head for a second.
Woody
because,
Harrelson?
Maybe because he said Rosie Perez. For some reason, I started thinking White Man Can't Jump. Then I went straight to Natural Born
When he
Killers.
said Rosie Perez, I automatically thought White Man Can't Jump too.
That was a great movie. That's what.
Man. So all right, so we're not really excited about that.
It is what it
to be
is.
honest,
Yeah.
the way that I just spoke about it, maybe I'm a little excited.
He said after talking about his movies, I've gotten myself a kick ass.
Yeah, Kick Ass.
Oh, I
You
forgot.
can't. I'm about to say
forgot
you
he was
can't say
in
he wasn't
Kick-Ass.
great doing
Yeah, okay,
his
well.
Adam West impersonation as Big Daddy.
That was
I felt so
actually
weird just
fun.
saying that out loud.
That's what I wasn't going to say it. I knew exactly what his
Why?
name was.
National
and I-
Treasure, the both
It's
of
only,
them.
it's only
The
sexualized
first
if you
one,
make
yes.
it
The second one
sexualized.
put me to sleep. So
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Gone in 60
That's probably
seconds.
his best one.
His best one? No, Face Off is definitely
Face Off.
his
is
best
the
one.
best one.
Nah.
Castor Troy all the way.
Yeah, there's no better one.
Okay, so
City of Angels.
City of Angels. Wait a minute. There's no better one than City of Angels.
True story, because I kind of cried at the end of that movie.
Yo, it's like, you're not human if you don't cry.
Yeah, because you're a demon if you don't. Because
Oh shit! Well, that
really,
was-
really, there's something wrong.
tells you what I am.
I'm saying there's something wrong with you because
you didn't cry at the end of City.
was Sarah
of Angels?
McLachlan singing in the background?
I mean, I didn't cry, but that's because I didn't watch the movie.
Dude, oh man.
It was like the whole premise as not even a teenager, as a child, the whole premise of that movie sounded like nothing that I wanted
I don't
to
know
see.
what drew me to that movie as a child. I have no idea.
Okay,
like
I'm older than you guys, so I wasn't a child when I saw it. So
Yeah,
fuck
that's
off.
what I'm saying. For you, that makes sense. For me, it's like
It was
when that came out, like 98.
98.
Yeah, it's like what? I was 10. I wasn't gonna want to see.
Well, I'm sure I saw it years later. Probably like
I wasn't gonna want to go see
2000.
Nicolas Cage. and
Go
Meg Ryan.
watch it again. Watch it again.
Because-
Not if you have some in your life, watch it again.
Like, so did you see it, Brian? City of Angels?
No.
Wait, no, you didn't see it?
No, waste of time.
Did you see Michael with John Travolta?
Oh God, no! No.
Did you see Michael?
Michael?
I saw it,
I
but
have no
I'm
desire
not
to
happy
see
that
this
I
whole
saw
angel
it.
thing. Yeah,
Well, I was going to ask the question.
It
Who
started
played the
to
better
come on
angel?
one
which
day,
didn't
and I was
see.
just
I mean, I am
I mean,
into
as of now, I have to give it to John Travolta by default for me.
I am into angel lore, so I've watched a lot of angel movies. So
I don't watch
You're
a lot of angel
into
movies.
you're into angel lore.
supernatural. Sorry,
Yeah, I'm about to say, supernatural angels are just dicks.
it just made me like really dive into that.
to just angels, period.
Yeah, learn them
what-
angels.
So what? I mean, so you being in the lore, it's not just based off of supernatural.
It was, but then it moved into that.
All right, well, give me something. What's something cool about angels that's not in supernatural?
That's not supernatural.
Yeah.
So far.
Let's see. The fact that the archangels are God's immediate children, and that
Eat you.
and they are like their actual face cannot be looked upon on man because it's greater than anything we've ever seen, like God. And the archangels they does have are not as powerful as God, but they are the strongest angels. And the fact that angels, the other angels that roam around the supposedly roam around the earth, are just worker bees. Because the archangels.
So angels have a class system.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. You have the archangels. You have the cherubs.
Supernatural will definitely
You
do that.
have the Nephilims, which are half human, half.
But are you getting
angel.
all that from supernatural?
No, I actually read about this stuff.
Oh, you
And
read
they
about
don't like Nephilims.
I can
You know
read.
what? I do kind of like angels because I do like the prophecy movies. with Christopher Walken.
Absolutely. Oh man.
it? I like Christopher Walken.
I like the first-
I don't
I
know
like
how much I like
The
prophecy
first
movies.
two were good.
Yeah, the first, that third one. But I think that third one was like a direct.
Or even,
sci-fi sequel.
It was a direct one. But the other angel movie that came out.
Because the first one had Casey Jones.
Did it?
Yeah, Elias Cotes, I think his name is. Yeah, he was one of the main characters.
I'm trying to think.
Was he Gabriel? Gabriel?
That's
Christopher Walken was Gabriel.
Oh yeah,
No,
he was Gabriel.
No, Elias was just a regular human.
Didn't Christopher Walken's character become a bad guy in one of those movies?
In the first one.
He was a bad guy in the first one, and then
thought
he
he
turned into a
He
good
was
guy.
Gabriel in the first
I
one.
thought he was a bad guy in the first two, and he was a good guy in the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a bad guy in the first two.
Okay.
Legion was amazing.
Legion was okay
Yeah, Legion
with Paul Bettany.
was really
Paul
good.
Bettany and the big
when they were at that truck stop. Or whatever.
Yeah.
that big forehead kid from Tokyo Drift.
I don't know. It was okay.
Nah, anything that stars that big head dude from Tokyo Drift automatically. Those names like
But
Lucas Black,
it's
I
very
think.
interesting. It's a very interesting read. How,
Lucas Black was in it. Was it Lucas Black?
Yeah,
I think that's
his
Lucas
name.
Black. Yeah, that big ass forehead of his.
I mean, yeah, it was. If anything with angels, you really got. I mean, it's actually very interesting if you're into theology.
Nah, man.
Well, okay.
I think theology's pretty interesting, even though it's like all myth.
So, not to take a drastic turn here and try to like lower everyone's spirits, but so the dude that played Jar Binks.
Suck it up.
Yeah, you heard about that?
Yeah, suck it up.
I don't know, man. That's
Dude, Star Wars
fans are
fans
vicious.
yeah. It's like
I mean, come on, man.
they chased Daisy off of Instagram at one
What
point.
Daisy?
They chased the little
harassed
Asian
the
girl off.
child.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Yeah, the little dude that played Anakin in the
Yeah,
Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
He never wanted to act again.
No, like they really they would come up to him in the street and
Like-
shout. No, Star Wars fans are crazy on
They're
a level.
evil.
Yeah.
Like remember earlier when I said Counteron and all y'all looked at me evilly and was like Alderon.
Nobody looked at you evilly.
No, not
Hey,
evil.
hey,
It's-
hey, hey,
The
worse
fact
than-
that you
I didn't
didn't
know the name. I just knew you were wrong.
Right, no,
the
but
fact that you
they.
didn't know that's the problem. I have.
But that's tame compared to the people who
Calderon.
hop on, who would literally walk up to I think, what's his name? It was Jake something was about.
Lloyd.
Jake Lloyd was about 10 or 11 when he got in the movie, and he said people would walk up onto the street and like verbally abuse him in front of his family. His parents had to like keep him out of the public eye and they would follow him, show up at his house. Star Wars
Blame
fans,
George Lucas
Like
for
you
that.
were expecting your kid to be a great actor in
right?
a movie.
Like they expected a lot of a child, and even Hayden Christensen, who was an adult at the time, or at least an
It was a
older
bad pick for that.
teenager.
It was a bad pick. I mean, I liked him in it, but he's not a good.
He wasn't a good pick, but that's besides the point.
All he did-
You did what?
But he also talked about
all he did was life as a house in space. That's
Right,
all
no, but he
did.
also talked about how he actually would try and give George Lucas some sort of like thoughts on how maybe we should do this, and maybe my character would do
George
this.
was like, no,
and
this is
basically,
my
yeah, George was like,
franchise.
no.
But his acting was horrible.
That's besides the point. There's lots of horrible actors who have not been abused to the level that he.
It's
is
just
abused.
he tried.
But
to,
he was overacting in it.
The thing is, he tried to do. What
Padme, no.
the thing that got him noticed for the role
I mean,
is
also,
what he kept trying
yeah,
to do.
and also let's be real. He had Padme is basically like an Oscar Academy Award winner. He had to bring something to the table. He was really trying.
He tried.
They had
He was trying.
Natalie Portman did it effortlessly though. She did it effortlessly.
Yeah, but she's been doing it since
What about
since
that,
early childhood.
We talked about
She did-
Kirsten Dunst and Tommy McGuire, Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
No chemistry.
Oh, it was bad.
Like, no
Well,
chemistry
but I-
whatsoever.
You know, Kristen Dunst had more chemistry with Brad Pitt
But I think Natalie Portman has spoken.
Hayden Christensen
on
had with
and,
Natalie Portman.
But
Interview
I
with
think
Vampire.
Natalie,
Vampire.
I want to say either Natalie or Hayden has spoken on the lack of chemistry. Where for Natalie in the beginning, she also had to transition to still treating him as if he was
As a
much
child,
younger than her. So for her, it was really
It's
awkward
like, I
because
might
she's
be
like,
staring up at you, but technically,
Right.
you're still like,
I'm an adult
a
and you're a
teenager and I'm an
child.
adult.
Hi,
and she-
Annie.
right.
Call me Annie again. I'm pointing the picture.
Like, what?
But she.
And a kid.
I'm a
No, but
grown
she
ass man.
says, she even says herself
some respect to my name.
because even she got Star Wars hate, where people were like, at one point she did like within the last like 8 years, she did a photo shoot with a Star Wars shirt on, and people were like, why is she wearing this? She don't know nothing, and she was like, bitch, I'm in the fucking movie. Like, I am. Like,
Look, she really wanted to
hello.
say, y'all just mad because I didn't cheat on Anakin with Obi-Wan.
Basically.
That's what
But,
everybody,
like-
that's what everybody was, I hate to say it, I
No.
felt more chemistry with Ewan
Yes.
McGregor than that.
But that's
than
because
that-
they were
Because
also
they're better actors.
well,
though.
and also she treated his character as an adult,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they
as a-
really did a disservice in having her treat Anakin as a child, even once he'd aged up. Because it really threw off that I'm supposed to believe that she's into him, but he's also supposed to be, what, 10 years younger than her?
It's like, I don't
what?
care if everyone knows we're married Padme. It's like, I do shit. I don't even know.
But if
this
you
is
go
legal.
back, if you go back and look, he was overacting. It was
He
too,
was,
it was
but
too
that's
much.
Like I said, he was doing.
He was definitely
Have
overacting.
you ever seen Life as a House?
No.
He cries
Go
the whole
watch-
movie.
Go watch the movie
He
Life as
pretty
a
boy
House.
cries the whole
That's
movie.
him in the Star Wars.
It
film.
is.
No, but I saw
then I
Jumper.
can't- then I-
Jumper,
then I
he was
can't watch
overacting in Jumper.
Yes, that's his
And,
stick.
and Jumper was a great
The
concept.
only movie
Bad
I've seen
person.
Hayden
Which is so
Christensen in
weird
where he
because
was
Billy Elliot
cool
is
was,
really good in
Takers.
it.
Yep, Takers. That's the only time I've seen Hayden Christensen in a role where
Because
he wasn't.
he
good.
died.
Because he didn't talk.
Well, no,
He got killed.
But
He
even
did
before,
perfect.
even before then, he was calm. He was kind of suave with it.
It really is.
He was about
It
his
is the
business in the
role,
movie.
but
Yeah.
also Takers is also a lot more recent. Whereas you have to remember when he came off Star Wars, he was
Quiet.
coming off Higher Ground too. Where Higher Ground, his whole shtick was, I'm this tragic, pretty rich boy who cries an awful lot because I've got some drug issues and some sex abuse
So
issues.
once again,
but
I know she said higher ground, but I was thinking higher learning.
but really, all he did was
like,
pretty boy cry.
For some reason, that Justin Timberlake popped into my head when he said that. What movie am I thinking about? Alpha Dog. There you go.
Same thing, except not as cute. But yeah, whether he overacted or not is besides the point. The fact is, Star Wars fans they treat a lot of the and I grew up. My mother's a big Star Wars fan, and she saw all the movies as a child in the theaters multiple times.
Basically, if you don't keep it the way it was in the
No,
original
but
trilogy,
it's
they
not
don't
even
want it.
not even the original trilogy. It's those deep nerds who are down up and the neckbeards from hell who it's not
Say neckbeard?
Neck-
Who are
beards.
telling George Lucas about his
Yes,
own franchise.
who are telling him because I read this book and you can't change this. And look, let me give you a prime example. I currently am watching Anne with an E on Netflix, which is based off Anne of Green Gables. There's a lot of stuff in there where I sit there like last night I'm watching it. I'm like, there was not one black person on Prince Edward Island that was mentioned in this book in 1901 or whatever, 1892. Now, granted, they've added a black character, and I get it because from a historical perspective, it makes a lot of sense. It works. But as a book purist, I'm just like, this didn't happen. This didn't happen. But I'm not going to sit there and go onto the little girl's Instagram who plays Anne and be like, this is the worst because you didn't keep it original to the book written from 1897. Like, bullshit.
The fact of the matter
low
is,
key,
they broke Jar Jar's spirit.
Hayden Christian has some really
And
shitty
here's the
movies.
thing. Don't get me wrong. Jar Jar Binks
It's a
as a
horrible
character is a
character.
horrible character.
Okay, here's what I never
He's a
understood.
horrible character.
Maybe I'm crazy. Why was he a bad character? He's an alien from another planet. Why was he a
Came
bad character?
from nothing and became a
And
politician.
I'm not
Exactly,
even
so why
and
was he a
I'm
bad
not- hold on.
character?
I'm not even going to say a bad character. He
because
was
he was
badly
seen-
acted
It's
because he was seen as a stereotype
How?
of a black man.
No.
But
I didn't get that at all.
I heard.
I got even alien.
I heard the
I
biggest
heard
issue
the
that
black
the
man.
Star Wars fans had with him was the fact that they felt like he was only there as like a comic relief and geared more toward little children, and they didn't.
But
want,
what about
and they
Star Wars
wanted
is
more
for adult
adult
only?
stuff.
What about Star Wars is for adult
Lightsabers in
only?
space.
Seriously.
I mean,
The Wookiees,
Father-
the Ewoks. What
Father-
about that is not meant for
I think
children?
the Ewoks
So,
are worse than Jar Jar Binks.
I was saying.
I
So
said.
I
Why you
agree
coming
about
for
the
the Care
Wookiee.
Bears?
I agree about
Why
the
you coming
Wookiee.
for the
I'm
Ewoks?
Care Bears.
Chewbacca
Leave the
is
Care Bears
nothing but
alone.
They were a
murderous,
waste of time.
Bigfoot.
Oh yeah.
Excuse
Chewbacca was a murderer.
Excuse me. He might be closer to a Yeti, not a Bigfoot. Thank you very much.
Look, there are
got some
people out here who
sentience.
don't know the difference, so they're not.
There's
gonna
some
care.
difference. He's got some sentience there, so he's a murderous Yeti.
Hey, I'm one of those people that don't know the difference. You all want to
What, a Yeti and a Bigfoot?
a Yeti and a
Apparently, a
Bigfoot?
Bigfoot can't be smart.
Bigfoot's more gorilla.
Yeah, and also the thought process. This goes into like the people from like Nepal. My
You listened
coworker.
to the Brilliant Idiots, didn't you?
No,
No, I didn't.
I have a coworker who's from Nepal, and he talks about how the Yeti also for them have some sort of significance in being up in the mountains and everything. They're thought to have some sort of intelligence to them where
Bigfoot is a gorilla.
they actually interact with people in like life. It's a whole thing. It's a mythological thing coming from that region. So don't.
Wait, these
What is
things.
it
These
that
things
they're
are.
I hate when y'all say something and I want to say something else, but I can't remember the word.
Homo
that I'm
sapien?
looking for. Was it Homo sapien?
What, a gorilla?
That might have been
The
it.
Yeti?
Yeah, that's what they were saying on Brilliant Idiots. They were like literally, the white dude Andrew was like, no, they just say Bigfoot's just a giant Homo sapien. It's like, what the fuck is a Homo sapien? He's a gay person. that's what the bodyguard or the wax was saying. He's like, no, like oh, why did you just say that a gorilla? It's like, goddamn.
Whereas the Yeti is more of in some cultures they're also actually
Read
more
a
of like a
book,
dog
man.
a giant dog
Google
man.
something.
It's a whole thing.
Are these things are still fake, right?
I mean,
We don't know that.
I'm just
Arguments
I'm
vary.
saying.
Pacific Northwest is huge. We've not explored all the forests.
So they're like
Hence
aliens.
why
Like,
the Green
got
River
an
Killer was
idea,
able to
but we
hide a
don't know
bunch
for
of
sure.
bodies are there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So anyway, back to the Jar Jar thing, right?
But
I'll accept that.
The
But
issue,
I don't see why Jar Jar was a bad character. I really don't understand it.
I'm not even gonna say he was an annoying character, but
I mean, yeah, but
Hayden's
But
portrayal
yes,
of
yes.
Anakin was an annoying character.
but to be fair, if you're gonna if you're gonna just pick
There's a difference
on
between someone being annoying and trying to do good, and just overall the whole. Point
I don't
of
even
the
think it's
character
this.
was
I
annoying.
think personally, as somebody who saw all three in theaters, please don't judge me.
I did too. Enjoyed every second of it.
I
I
did,
saw the first
but
one in theaters.
Jar Jar as a
none of them did.
character, his storyline wasn't bad. I think it was a way. I think after the first one too, people really took it as because my uncle who's very
And it should be George Lucas.
very politically minded.
That's what they would. That's what. That's
Yeah.
what. That's
If
what.
Anakin couldn't tell you shit, then I'm pretty sure Jar Jar
But
couldn't
he
say.
took Jar Jar as Jar Jar being a like a Jim Crow-y type character of a black man.
So you're taking it too far. There.
I didn't know. Wait,
who became
well,
a politician?
Hold on. We're not even going there. That was just off. He only took me to the first one. But I know other people. I'd heard from other people that they took it that way too. Also, a lot of people had an issue with him being, oh, he did too much. He took away from the story. I always just kept thinking to myself, what the hell kind of Sirius am I supposed to have when there's a giant like flying toad. They're flying on they're riding on these big.
That's what I'm saying.
fuzzy-
So how do you make him a bad character? And you
But
have
then
clan of Wookiees.
It then
What?
also evolved in that when people found out the actor was black underneath that mask, things got way worse. And Star Wars
fans are racist.
Oh yeah, no, those crazy ones, them crazy ones who think that they're the only
see
true
how they tried to
fans,
come at John Boyega?
or Kelly Marie Tran, they're deep racist.
Are they from the Midwest?
No, they're from it's.
There's black people go to space, man. You know
I'm
that?
like, did you not see how
We don't make it.
Did you not see how unhappy people were when Mace Windu first showed up
Right.
on the scene
Even
with his purple lightsaber?
Really?
And,
People
like,
were mad about
yeah,
that?
Yes.
yeah, because why was there a black man in space?
Why was
Black-
there-
And why was he a Jedi?
Not only was he was a black Jedi master,
Yeah, a black
and he was
Jedi.
the only person with a purple lightsaber.
It was the
And-
fact
and he
that
did it on purpose,
It wasn't,
which I
and it
think
was,
is bad.
it
He
was
did do it
cool.
on purpose.
It was cool when it was black, and it was what's his name that Donald Glover plays, whose name I just blanked on. Lando. When it was Lando,
It was
and he
Billy D.
Right,
Billy D, smooth.
that was fine. They were cool with that. But the
Code
minute
45.
he became a
He's the
black
only one who get
Jedi,
away with saying his name wrong.
Yeah.
Han, my man. What the fuck?
the minute there was a black Jedi, literally this was early internet days too, but people exploded.
But
They
it's
were
funny.
like,
But
"What
it's
the
funny
fuck?"
as shit. They're racist about that. But Darth Vader's a black man the whole time.
Right, but they couldn't see his face, so it didn't count.
But James Earl Jones
couldn't see
made
his
the
face.
voice alone.
And when they took-
painted him white.
Yeah, when they took they
Which
put
was
somebody.
bullshit.
they-
That wasn't James Earl Jones.
That wasn't James Earl Jones.
No,
That was an actor.
that was an actor.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
no.
even still, I mean, you got James Earl Jones as the
Now,
voice, but when you take the helmet
Yes.
off,
If
it's
you
this
gonna get
white
mad
guy
at something,
underneath.
get mad at that. The fact that James Earl Jones played him the whole movie, pulled the mask off,
if
as an
we're-
old white guy.
If we're really gonna get mad at something, let's
pasty
get mad
white
at the fact that George Lucas has been married to a black woman for years,
And
and
the
not
fact-
one black person is in space up until just recently. So I got some questions about how you live in this life.
That was
No,
after he sold off the rights.
no, I
That's-
think he was with her before he sold off.
But
the
why
rights,
don't we
though.
make it to space? That's my question. Every space movie, we don't make it.
So I mean, is there a good chance that
the
we're
purge
not going to make it into
happens
the
Why
space
don't we
force?
make it in
I
space?
say, could there be a chance that the white people might have killed us all
Because
first?
the purge
Even in the
happens.
100, it's not a lot of people, not a lot of people. In
I know what it is. See,
Want to make it in space?
we talked about this before on KBK Presents. So what it is they sent all the black people out there first to discover shit.
And we became
and
reavers.
and we ran into the bad guys. and they just wiped us out.
Reapers?
We became reavers.
You never seen
Reapers.
Serenity?
Yeah, we get Reapers. Yeah.
No, it sounded like you said Reapers at first.
No.
Like, I would like to be a Reaper. That would seem like a cool job.
I'm just saying why I'm understanding why.
cool show.
Read Dirty
Dead Like
Job
Me?
by Christopher Moore. It's really good. Audiobook it if you want
I
to.
say audiobook. Is it about being a Reaper?
It's about being deaf.
Oh.
And it's this average dude who just becomes
Did anyone
essentially a
else
Grim
watch
Reaper.
the old Showtime show, Dead Like Me?
I just said that.
No.
Yeah, they're like me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love Dead Like
No.
Me.
You
But it's
watch it?
along those
It
That
lines.
was a long
Describe
time
it.
ago.
Nah, I wasn't in that
What?
phase at the time.
It had Whitley from a different world, and it
She
had
was in it.
and it had Callum Blue, a guy who's confident enough to be called Callum Blue.
I mean, he
was
can't
that?
help
Which
what
one
his
was that?
parents
If
named
you
him.
call Callum Blue, you gotta be an actor. You have no choice.
The young guy,
You can't be a
the
busser.
one that was always flirting with the girl.
Oh
Jordan.
yeah.
I wanted to
That
say
cat
Also,
was
I
smooth.
think
I wanted to
Callum
say
is an
Zod from
Irish
Smallville,
name,
but I
so it's
wasn't sure
kind
if
of
you know
a
who that
thing. It's a cultural name. Irish people use the name
Right.
Callum a lot.
Anyway, Star Wars fans, y'all take shit way too far. Sometimes
And
you gotta share the fuck
wait.
back.
I'd like to caveat that they're not true fans. If you're out there attacking the actors who are bringing whatever to life, whatever
'cause you have a
world that you
small
believe in
world
for
in your
life,
head.
right? Or whatever world that you've immersed yourself in, because, like, I'm gonna
Write your own
again,
goddamn
yeah,
non-canon
write your own
book.
shit. Fan
I'm-
fiction
I'm-
exists
I'm
for a
sure they
reason.
have.
Fan fiction that shit up and don't attack
Hey,
the
if 50
actors.
Shades of Grey can get made into a movie, anything
Oh
can happen.
God. And I mean, like,
That was terrible.
Seriously,
It
if
was-
you want better, there is
You
better.
know who told me? All it was Twilight fan fiction.
It
that
really
got turned
was,
into
Masters of the
that got turned
Universe.
into a
That
book.
was terrible.
I can share it with
Hey,
everybody.
Master Universe, He-Man needs to come out with a real movie. I'm ready for another He-Man.
Yeah,
movie.
but they're
What?
not
You didn't
real.
hear? They're gonna redo the cartoon like
Yep.
they're doing the Thundercats.
She-Ra too. They're not
With the whole Teen Titan Go premise.
I will burn that.
Oh, you wasn't here for that? Oh, he wasn't.
I
here
was.
for that.
I was here for that when we talk about.
We're talking about Thundercats.
Cats being a Teen Titan
Oh
Go.
yeah,
Hell no.
He was so mad. It was funny.
I need my dark live action.
Because I mean,
sorry.
I'm just gonna say,
He needs everything darker.
Look, it's a dark. Well, we can go into that, but it's a dark series. I don't care anybody
yeah,
says.
but we live in a dark ass world. It don't all
Exactly.
need to be dark.
You
I
know-
need some brightness.
That's what I'm saying.
Care Bears is bright. Go there. Go bots
Man.
are
Did you
bright.
see? Wait, did you see Care Bear movies? The Care Bear movies
yeah,
were
that
not
shit-
bright.
man.
That one with the evil little boy and he was
that
unloved.
was- yeah,
and
yeah,
that
that
was
was-
not some
that-
brightness.
At the
That was
end,
scary.
everything was so dark.
It was real scary. As a child, I was
That was
sitting there like,
kinda scary.
fuck
So-
that. You grew up with The Land Before Time was not bright. His mama dies
Oh,
within the
man,
first
so
5
did-
minutes.
Did you hear about?
There's not a lot of bright movies out there because tell you what.
Did you hear about the Bronchiosaurus in Jurassic World 2?
About what?
So you remember?
Don't. It was
you
really
remember the one? You remember
sad.
the one scene with the Bronchiosaurus
It was
in Jurassic
really
World 2 on the
sad.
dock?
I was like super emotional. Like the
So
whole theater was
The
crying.
director confirmed that was the original Bronchiosaurus from the first Jurassic Park.
I'm sad.
Which one? What,
No.
Jurassic World 2. Which one was
In
that?
Jurassic World 2, you know the Bronchiosaurus, you know the Littlefoots, the ones with the long necks.
Yeah.
Brachiosaurus.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Bronchial is your-
I'm sorry. Did I say bronchitis?
You said Brachiosaurus, and I'm
Oh,
sorry, it's
whatever.
Brachiosaurus, but you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, fuck, I don't
We
know.
know how she feels.
I would say I got that shit from the Line Before Time.
Also,
They said it wrong.
bronchial is your like in your esophagus, and when you get
Well,
bronchitis.
they got long necks, so maybe they got.
Yes, just call them the long necks. We all know what the long necks is.
Is it Brontosaurus?
I'm just gonna say an adult Littlefoot.
There you go. I'm with you on that one. I'll follow you.
Yep.
All right, so spoiler alert for Jurassic World 2.
Shit, it's been
At
out for almost a month
At
now.
one point,
Okay, go back to
So-
1. Where was it 1?
So you know in the first one when they run through when the thing comes and sneezes on the little boy when they're stuck in the trees, and they're like, oh, it's a Vegisaurus. And,
yeah.
Right. Okay. So that is what they're saying is that thing that sneezed on them and they were real excited to see and was running through the herds in the field was the one that also originally dies on the docks of the newest one.
Yep.
Which
I haven't
is
seen
some
it.
fucked up
On
bullshit.
the newest one, the volcano takes the island, and he's just on the dock,
Also,
looking
like,
at the boat.
can we-
And then all you see is like a whole bunch of smoke and like lighting in the back, and like
And
you
his
just
outline.
see the outline of
It's
it.
very sad.
And it's
But
dying.
can we just sideboard? Like, look, if
We said that dinosaurs died again?
no, hold on. I have a question though. If
Nah,
the premise
Jurassic
of
World, there's going to be a Jurassic World 3, so you ain't got to worry about
right, but if the premise of it is that we're taking these dinosaurs because we want to sell them for money and use them for some, whether it's private or
Can we
public
clone
use.
dragons?
Why not just make them smarter?
Because dragons were dinosaurs. The argument is that the original dragons, the myth of dragons.
I'm talking about dinosaurs from like Sean Connery dinosaur. From you know what I'm saying?
But if that's the argument, like if we're taking dinosaurs off an island and we're gonna sell them for money, the fuck does it? If your goal is also like the one who bought them for private sport, what the fuck does it matter if it's a predator or not? You want something to sell and to draw people in. Wouldn't you take them all because they're all worth something?
In my mind, I'm just like.
Also, if a big long neck comes and steps on my ass, I'm squished either fucking way.
You can genetically modify.
Yes,
all
you can.
These damn dinosaurs.
That's the whole premise of Jurassic Park is that they genetically modified them.
You couldn't make them smarter so that you wouldn't have to worry about them going wild.
Well, the argument is that then you.
Then you're talking about like evolution.
Well, right.
I don't want smart dinosaurs.
Also, wait.
I
wouldn't want
make
smart.
them smarter.
I don't want smart.
They
carnivores.
did make
I
them
wouldn't mind smart, smaller. Like if you made like a triceratops, like the size, like a little bit bigger than a poodle.
So make a mini size.
Make
a mini triceratops.
That's dope.
Okay.
I mean, that is kind of fun because I'd have my own personal triceratops. So that'd be awesome.
Rolling up talking about some. You know what? I don't think it's right that we're all in these cages. I don't want to negotiate with a dinosaur.
I think it's time to go.
I didn't say that.
I think it's time to go.
I don't want them fighting for rights.
I said make them smarter.
You don't have to make them able to talk.
I said make them smarter. I didn't say make them deep blue sea.
Right. You don't have to make them able to talk.
You know what? That's what happened when Planet of the Apes, right there. Just keep fucking with it. All of a sudden, guess what? Caesar's killing everybody. No, I'm good.
I mean,
well, if we're going by the new one, it was really because they just kept fucking with the animals and they was hating on Caesar.
But that was a great series. That I don't care about this.
That was probably one of the best trilogies in a long time.
Oh my god,
it's one of the best.
How can you not watch that?
It's one of the best trilogies in a long
so
time.
the talking monkeys really freaks me out.
Wow. Talking monkey freaks you out?
No, don't get me wrong.
Note to file.
Don't get me wrong. Especially when I consider the fact that they're actually already more sentient than us on our own. Coco the gorilla just died, and she had jokes in sign language. She could pull pranks.
Yes.
Fully, like, they have the one at the Smithsonian.
You ever see Rampage?
The Moke at the Smithsonian is
Rampage just like this the whole time.
Rampage is actually pretty good.
I mean, so I don't need you to show me a movie of them being smarter than me. I already know that they are.
But the way they evolved them to make them smarter was very nice.
I already know that they can do that.
He wasn't like talking like me and you. He was like, still got the monkey in him. But he was still like.
And exactly what is the monkey?
The monkey in him. The gravelly monkey in him. The monkey. Got the monkey in him. Like he got the monkey.
That's a term I'm just gonna use.
Right.
You got that.
You know what? Use it from now on. Got the monkey in him.
Now, don't say that too loudly because some white person will pick that up. And then
we can't do that mixed company.
Right. That's got to be a black people only thing, and even then, it's got to be
in the right setting.
Look,
right.
What the kid doing? He just got that monkey in him.
Right. It's got to be a very specific setting because even some black people they'll take it and then use it around their coworkers, and then they'll be like, "Shit, man."
You can't do that, man.
You're getting taken to HR.
Yeah. He said I got monkey in me. He made you a hard worker.
I mean, Trump tweeted the other day something was lit, so you got to be careful.
That was Trump Jr. that said that.
Oh, well, that's even worse.
Lit is done.
Right.
That's why we retired lit.
Like you got to retire
Trump
certain.
said it. I ain't know Trump
Nah, it was Trump Jr.
That's even worse. That's just as bad.
I'm about to say still old enough to where using that word.
It's not about his age. It's just as bad because
the
it's
way
you.
he carries himself.
Yeah,
it's
you can't use lit anymore. Nope, that's done.
All right, so last, because we got to start wrapping this up.
You got somewhere to be? Russian people.
Yeah, I do.
I'm being sarcastic.
Like I'm about to say,
as somebody who has left the past 2 episodes early.
Right?
Today's my anniversary, so yes, I do have somewhere to be.
That's so nice.
Hey. All right, so do we care? Are we here for it? Well, you know what? I already know Blankman's here for it. This so-called Zack Snyder Justice League cut.
I don't care.
I do care. I want to see it.
I don't give two shits.
I ain't got no concern.
It's not going to make the movie better.
But speaking of that, I just went back and watched all the DC animated movies, and I'm very pissed off because you know why?
Sounds like you had a lot of free time.
I did. I can't figure out. That is the blueprint of every single movie. We use it. Why?
Because everybody's got to be original.
Because Zack Snyder decided it wasn't dark enough for him.
So he lens flared the shit out of it.
War was pretty dark. But Zack Snyder didn't finish out, Josh Whedon did.
Well, but you got to remember.
That's even worse.
So what happened was...
Save yourself from that ship.
What happened was he finished it. He finished most of it.
His daughter died halfway through.
He finished most of it because he screened it for people at WB, and they said this is too dark. that's what everyone was complaining about with Batman versus Superman. We gotta lighten it up.
No. If they watch the actual Batman vs Superman comic book and the anime movie, it's a dark series. I mean, Superman damn near kills. Batman damn near kills Superman.
But you can't be boring and dark, and that's what Batman versus Superman suffered from.
And
Additionally, you have to be able to
boring
sell
and
this.
dark.
I think
that animated one where they fought, it wasn't necessarily dark. It just had a very serious tone.
and that's what people don't like. People don't like the series.
Right.
So,
It's
serious and dark.
You have to be able
But I
to
like
sell
that.
things to people
But I like
besides
that.
the actual fans.
I like that. Let's say this. Not dark, let's say serious. Because Marvel is not as serious as DC. Because DC comic books are more serious than Marvel. By nature, they are. So why not? Why can't DC reflect that? Even the animated movies are serious movies.
Because they've taken the standpoint where they're going to be the serious superheroes and the real and not fun.
It's like they putting everything in that like Watchmen's universe.
Yes, which was
Which I felt was
awesome.
It's great.
I thought Watchmen was awesome.
Yeah,
It's
for
great
that one
that.
movie.
Right.
It's
It
not
doesn't
great
need
for
to be
every
putting
single one of
everything
them.
But you got to think, with DC, you're talking about
Which
you
is
don't have to
why-
do like, but anything dealing with Batman, it's going to be a dark universe.
Yeah, but you specifically
Yes.
want Superman to be dark. and-
Listen, Zack Snyder's version of Superman should be the original Superman. That you're talking about somebody I have powers, I can't use them. My father died in front of me, I could have rescued him. I have tragedy all written all over my face. I don't know. I'm from.
but you don't have to live there. And
Right.
your
And
superhero
he comes
movies
out
don't
of it
have
when he
to
meets
live there.
Lois.
and that's what made Superman great because he didn't.
Yeah,
live
he
there.
didn't live there.
Bruce lives there.
Right. Superman said, you know what, my backstory is really tragic, but I have this family that took
Plus, in
me
that
in
movie, he
and
only
gave
really
me a
confessed
life.
shit just because she just happened to find them. Like, I feel like there was no, like, in all honesty, if he, like, when he, like, stole those clothes off the clothesline hanger, if the person who owned that house came out and was like, hey, what are you doing? I watched my father die right in front of me. Like, there was no real build-up. She was just like, I got saved. I got to find this person.
I mean, also, if you're talking about the tragedy makes the character, Deadpool doesn't live in his tragedy. Yeah, he knows this is some fucked up shit that happened to me, but guess what? I'm still gonna enjoy my life.
Deadpool's more comedy than anything else.
But
It's
when they
funny.
wonder, when you wonder when the studios are looking at why did this movie, this little nut movie, come out of nowhere, and it was little to them, and make so much money?
because it was
Why
funny
is this
shit.
making so much money? Because you're not living in the tragedy. I don't want to see. Spider-Man: Homecoming was really fun for me because it wasn't. Yeah, Spider-Man's
We didn't have to
backstory is
go
sad,
through Uncle Ben
right?
dying.
But I didn't have to live through that whole tragedy part. He had stuff going on.
But I will say this: but DC does too many. DC didn't have to do the backstory. If you take
DC wants you to live in the
If you-
dark
if you
before,
do-
for a long before you wait too long.
you do
before you get to
Justice-
the
if
light.
you do-
DC as a whole, I just think Zack Snyder wants you to live in this
Yeah,
like.
he
if
does
you
that.
do
He
Justice
does.
League War,
He needs
perfect
some
setup.
therapy. He might need some Prozac.
Yeah.
No, but I think Zack Snyder. I think that I personally, me myself, as a huge
Or
Superman
whoever the screenwriter
fan,
is.
and I own the original Superman, all that stuff. Zack Snyder's version was to me the best version. I'm sorry, I think it was, because he was still the Boy Scout. He was still doing things, still helping people. But if you had that kind of power, yeah, you're gonna do some crazy shit. You're gonna kill some people.
If I had that kind of power, I'd be happy, just like the comic book Superman.
But is he happy?
I
though?
can fly. I'm
Is he
faster
happy?
than a speeding bullet.
Is he
I'm
happy though?
strong.
Is
I
that
feel
what-
like-
And my power
How
is
many times have we died?
unlimited.
And
As long as the
you know what
yellow sun
another-
is here, my power is unlimited. What do I have
Watch
to
out
keep
for that
brooding
eclipse.
You know what
about?
another issue is with the Zack Snyder Superman? It's just he doesn't learn. He learned all this shit way too late. Normally in the Superman mythos, he finds
He finds that after high school.
he learns all this knowledge when he's like late teens, early
Age
20s.
is redefining. That's what he did.
It's like he's like late 20s, early 30s, and
He's a fucking adult, and you should have
Yeah.
known some of this shit by then.
by this point you should have already figured yourself out. Tom Welling did a better job. He figured himself out.
Yeah, Tom Welling did a great job. Michael said that.
But so that's how we're going to end this. Tom Welling did a great job. Because Blankman's about to be out. Like I stated, I got anniversary shit I got to get down to.
I got something to go pick up, so I got
People
things
got
to
things
do.
to
So
do.
thank y'all for listening to this almost 2-hour-long mashup. I'm going to call this the Blerd Present.
The Blerd.
I don't know, but
Presents.
wait, sidebar real quick. I cannot believe you did last week's raisins in the macaroni. Every time I see it, I think I'm going to vomit just a little bit.
It's funny. And it's just
So
like, who
gross.
the fuck would want to talk about raisins in a macaroni?
Nobody.
Shit is gross.
Disgusting. Please don't do it. Save yourself.
But anyway, on behalf of Blankman, who just had to dip, I'm one of your hosts, King Phenom. You can catch us on YouTube,
Apple.
Apple. What else? We're now on Spotify.
You're like messing this up. It was a flow.
No, hold on, because usually he does it by
I do
himself,
everything.
and you're like, I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know we were doing a thing.
All right,
so now I
I'll
know
do
we're
the
doing a thing.
professional thing then. All right, catch us on nutsandboltsports.com. You can also catch us on YouTube under Kickback Kings with a Z. Follow us on Facebook, KB Kings Media. Follow us on Twitter at KBK301. On Instagram, KBK Media. Yeah, KBK Media, yeah. If you would like to support us, because let's face it, doing this shit isn't cheap, and help is always not necessary, but what's the word?
Welcome.
Welcomed, yes. You can find us on Patreon /KB Kings Media. What else do we have?
Or, I mean, you could just send things directly. We'll find a P.O.
Man,
box and you can send it
cash at
directly
me.
there.
You can cash at me, King Phenom.
Yep.
Just
pretty
replace,
much.
yeah. Just replace the I with a 1, King Phenom. There you go, right there. But I am happy to say that we are now on Spotify. I just got those emails yesterday.
Boom.
So for anyone,
Everywhere.
yeah. So you can let people know.
Spread the word. Tell your friends.
Yes, like, follow, share.
Comment.
Share.
Comment too. Like,
Comment.
tell us what you'd like. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like.
Tell us that we need to talk
There
about
is
serial
no
killers.
chance that we will actually change, but we'll at least, read it, take it under advisement.
I mean, I probably won't change, but if you got some subjects you want to speak on,
I mean,
have
yeah,
no
you
problem
probably
having an
won't get
opinion on
Phenom talking about serial killers, but we'll
that.
get
I have
there.
nothing to say about serial
Well,
killers.
you actually probably have more to say than you think, and we might talk about that for Halloween. That's a good creepy episode.
A good creepy episode.
Hell yeah. Scare the shit out of you.
But anyway, this has been a mashup of the Blerd Perspective and KBK Presents. We'd like to thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
Peace out.